a year that some of us wondered would ever get off the ground, it did. And the regular season, albeit a different one, is now behind us. And all eyes are on the playoffs and the road to War Memorial Stadium. The road for Conway begins tonight at home against an opponent familiar to the Wampus Cats, the Springdale Bulldogs. They're led by former UCA Bear quarterback Zach Clark. Kickoff for the 7A state playoffs is less than 30 minutes away. But first, it's the Conway Regional Health System pregame show. We've got that next on Conway Corp. Welcome back to the Conway Regional Health System pregame show. I'm Jeff Matthews, joined by the voices of the Wampus Cats as we're through our 20th regular season of Wampus Cat football. Now we're into the playoffs. Excited about this. Tim Roach handling our color duties this year and our color analyst duties, and Levi Gilbert took over for me as play-by-play. And guys, after the 9 games that we've had in the regular season, congratulations, great job. We've got something fun that we're going to reveal that's coming up at halftime. And you'll get to hear some of the work that you guys have done this year. Before we talk about that, though, let's just talk about the year in general. Your thoughts on this 2020 Wampus Cat football team. Levi, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you got to start with the offense, right? I'm still just so impressed at what they've been able to do. And under the craziest of circumstances, right, of not having a full normal summer to install this brand new offense, and still look what they've been able to do. Over 3,000 yards passing, the state's leading passer in Ben Weiss, and Bryce Bohannon, the year he's had. It's just, it astonishes me, and it gets me really excited for the future. I mean, if you think what year 1 has looked like in this new offense, what's year 2 and year 3 when you've had time to develop your quarterbacks and everybody just gets more used to the system? I don't know. I mean, the sky's the limit for this offense.
Yeah, I agree. I think that as they get more time, as quarterbacks are developed in this process through the JV system, the sophomore, even younger, learning Mark Kelly's offense from an earlier age, it's just going to find more success. Tim, let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. There's been some great moments. They're young, obviously kind of took a punch in the mouth last week, as a lot of teams have against Bryant. But your thoughts through the regular season defensively?
Well, I think we've seen a chance for people to display what they can do on an individual level as well as the team level. Everybody knows we've struggled a little bit on the defensive side. We've given up a lot of points, a lot more than we're used to. We're scoring a lot more than we used to, so that's been the buffer. But I think we've seen some moments of growth from a lot of different players, the young linebackers, our young secondary. We've been able to plug some people into the defensive line that are still young and trying to learn. So, yes, we've given up some points. We are still the number 3 seed in our side of the bracket. So we've accomplished a lot of what we wanted to accomplish. We're in the spot to be successful there. And yet we've done it with some really young talent on the defensive side.
There's been a real shift over the past few years. The strength of the 7A football in the state has really moved to Central Arkansas. And so when you look at the 7A Central, Bryant, who they are, North Little Rock, who they have been for a while, even if this would have been a normal season, there's a chance that we would be exactly where we are, which is as that 3 seed. And so hosting the 6 seed Springdale from Northwest Arkansas. We played Rogers a lot the last few years, so it's nice to see a different opponent this week. What are your thoughts on the Bulldogs? Zach Clark bringing his team to town, Levi?
Yeah, no Rogers this week and no Bentonville West next week if we win this game. Yeah, you know, Springdale presents some interesting challenges on defense. They do give you a lot of different looks. I mean, they say they're a 3-4, but at times it's more of like a 4-2. They're just putting people all over the field. They're a little smaller than some of the teams we face this year. So it'll be interesting to see how our offense responds. And then on the other side of the ball, defensively, this is a team that likes to run the ball. That's where they're going to get most of their production. And our defense has, been able to create turnovers this year. And that's really, I hate to say it, but that's really kind of glazed over some of the shortcomings we've seen on the defensive side of the ball of not being able to get stops. Those 21 turnovers have really helped. This defense, they're gonna have to find ways to get stops 1 or 2, 3, maybe a game to get it back to your offense, because that offense is going to be able to go out there and score on really anybody in the state. I mean, we gave up 70 to Bryant, but we scored 33 on them, and honestly probably should have been in the 40 points, maybe even 50-point range. So if you can just find a few stops here and there to get the ball back to the offense, good things going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the possibilities are there to kind of get a fresh start defensively. Against Springdale, there should be a good matchup there. A victory this week will either be against Fayetteville or Little Rock Central. They're playing on the other side of the bracket. We'll take on the winner of our game. We'll take on the winner of them. Fayetteville already a team that we've had success with. Central we didn't get to see because of COVID, but you think that the chances are there defensively to kind of get some momentum offensively just to keep things rolling. Guys, I referenced it a moment ago, but let's talk about what we're going to do at halftime, which is reveal the top 10 plays of the year. This has kind of come together this week. Tim, I'll give you the floor. What are your thoughts on the top 10 plays and what we're going to see without revealing too much, because we want people to watch at halftime?
Well, we had to choose from about 180 plays, first of all. So many things to choose from. It was hard to leave some on the floor and create 10. But there are some really dynamic plays. We've seen them all year long on both sides of the ball. So I'm excited for the kids that are going to be on there. It's a good moment to shine. It's a wonderful retake of what we saw this year. I can't wait for people to see it.
And actually, it's both sides of the ball. It's all three sides, because we won't reveal what, but there's a special teams or a play or two that's going to make the top 10 as well, Levi.
Yeah, it was fun going through and just remembering what had happened. We were pulling all these clips and just remembering the highlights along the way and the key moments. I mean, a lot of these plays ended up being key moments from certain games that really shifted the momentum here or there. And it was a fun experience getting to see and remember all the things that this team has accomplished and getting me somehow even more excited for what's to come, because they still have some other things left to accomplish.
There's a lot to still accomplish, and it's been a successful season. You look at the 3 losses, those are 3 of the best teams in the state, and we're on that next level, but everybody's even right now. So we're still playing. We're playing some good football overall, and we'll see how the playoffs stack up over the next few weeks. Guys, have a great call, and we'll be with you in the booth in just a few minutes.
You don't wake up thinking about internet speed, electricity, reliability. Your mind isn't on advanced treatment facilities or customizable systems. You don't have to think about any of these things, because we do. Conway Corp, always on.
Hi, welcome to the Conway Regional Health System pregame show, the playoff edition. I'm Jeff Matthews, joined by Levi Gilbert and Tim Roach, and Coach Keith Fimple is with us as well. Coach, we'll talk Springdale in just a moment, but let's talk about the regular season finale against Bryant. Uncharacteristically, the offense left some points on the board, and the defense ran into a buzzsaw that everyone's run into with Bryant. What are your takeaways from last week?
I tell you, you can see and respect the rankings that they have and the resume that they put up here. I think that being in our conference, again, you got to have some pride in that. A very tough conference we play in. When you play teams like that, our kids know it. We talked about it all week. You have to make plays, and, when you can, you have to take advantage of situations that you get yourself into, by working to them. But, again, it's a great team. They are what we thought they were, and we're going on to the playoffs now with a new season 0-0.
Yeah, and Coach, Springdale comes to town this week to open the playoffs. What can you tell us about this Bulldog defense?
The Bulldog defense, first off, I've been with Coach Clark for a long time. He was the head coach there, so we go back quite a ways. We talk about every other day, but on defense, of course, Levi, they're usually a 3-front. They're very, very physical is what I would call them up front. They have some guys that fly around in the ball, usually really sound in the secondary. They got some guys that go both ways. Of course, that's one thing that we always look for when we're going into game plan is guys that play offense and defense. But it's been a very sound group up there in that conference.
This Bulldog offense on paper looks to get most of their production off of the run, Coach, and so they struggle throwing the ball a little bit. They've thrown 12 picks this year. What's the game plan for your defense this week in terms of
Hopefully we'll
tackling them?
keep continuing with the turnover ratio we've been getting on defense. I mean, anytime you can get turnovers in high school football, and that's one thing we've been really pretty good about is I think, it turnovers, and it changes momentum. It gets different swings. Again, Coach Clark, does a great job adapting to his personality. He has a couple running backs that are really good, very quick, very athletic. He has probably the fastest guy in Springdale in the school district in quarterback. It can really run, and I'm talking about both sides of the town as far as the public school system goes. He can really run. So we've got our hand cut out. They've got multiple weapons that we've got to keep contained and make them, drive the ball down the field.
Coach, when you get to this time of the year, any time of the year, special teams is important, but boy, when you get to the playoffs, that can make or break a game.
I think that's one area, you guys have been around me long enough. We spend a lot of time with it. We split it up a little bit different with our staff. You could kind of see about 3 or 4 weeks ago where the personnel started getting right. We started getting a lot better as far as schemes going. Again, my staff does a great job meeting on Sundays and Monday mornings of putting things together, where it's a block punt if we can go get one. Returning punts, kickoffs, we spend a lot of time with those guys as far as drills and making sure that we get, the things that we need to get done with it. But, during the playoffs, like you said, every point is precious. Everybody is 0-0, and you're looking to look at that scoreboard at the end of the game and be 1 point ahead.
Coach, we saw a few players get dinged up on the defensive line last week. This time of year, you want to be as close to full strength as possible. How is the health of your team heading into the playoffs?
We're healthy, but again, when you play teams like Bryant and even, our conference, and when you go through the games that we played, we missed the Central game and pick up Christian Brothers. I mean, you guys were there. Anybody that watched that game, it's a very physical game with the guys that we played against. So, again, you're going to have those dings and bruises, but, nothing out of the ordinary. We have a great treatment group here. They meet in the mornings. They get those guys in and out, and they're usually on the practice field for us to practice with.
Coach, we've seen 3 games as of this recording, playoff games already forfeited due to COVID. Conway seems to have done a great job of keeping things lined up in their world. What kind of message has the message changed over the last few weeks in terms of getting ready for playoffs and staying COVID aware?
Well, again, it goes back to we've been in this situation for so long. It's really easy to get lax. And we try to stress the kids, and they'll tell you that every day I in practice with, just make sure you take care of yourself, make sure you're staying away from each other, wear your mask, wash your hands. And they've done a really good job of that. We're probably the fastest getting dressed locker room team of all time, because once we're done with practice, it is basically rush in groups, throw your stuff in there, get back out, get outside and go home. So I've been very proud of them. I think they understand the mentality that you have to have, especially right now, because everything will change now in the playoffs, because it goes from cancellation, no contest, to a forfeit now. And I think that they know what's riding on that, and you just got to keep stressing to them at home and around the community, and even us as coaches.
Coach, we appreciate your time as always. Good luck tonight, and we've got the kickoff coming up in just a few moments.
Appreciate you guys tremendously. Go Cats.
We're joined now by David Grimes, our friend who is the founder of the Wampus Cat Sports Hall of Fame. And David, it's always great to have you every year. Let's talk about the class of 2021. We're going to reveal it tonight, the Wampus Cat Sports Hall of Fame. Who's in this next class?
Absolutely, Jeff. Thanks for having me as always. We can't do it in person this year, but we'll do it by Zoom. That seems to be the way of 2020. But recently, the board of the Wampus Cat Sports Hall of Fame met and selected our 6 inductees for the class of 2021. And of course, we pick 6 every year because how many legs are on a Wampus cat, Tim?
6
legs. 6 legs. 6 legs on Wampus cats. We have 6 great inductees, but I'll start with something new we're doing this year. For the first time, we are going to induct a team. We'll do this periodically to honor great teams from the past, and pretty obvious choice is old timers around here. We're going to start with the 1964 football team that went undefeated and won the state championship. And so that's who we'll start with as far as teams go.
So then what about the individuals? Who's heading up that class?
Sure. This is just the 3rd year we've done this. And so there's still a big list of very deserving honorees. So that in some ways that makes the choice easy because you can't hardly go wrong, but in a lot of ways it makes it very tough to pick which ones we're going to do. But what the board went to this year, and I'll have to go with the glasses so I don't mess anything up, but Hal Crafton. Hal Crafton, a lot of people know Hal Crafton as a local businessman, developer. If you're not an old timer, you may not know that Hal Crafton was one heck of a basketball player. Graduated high school in 1974, played for the Wampus Cats. During his 3 years, they went 82-13. They won the state championship in 73 and 74. He was All-State both years. And in the 1974 state championship basketball game, he scored 30 points to help the Wampus Cats win the state championship. So Hal was the first one. Next up, Tom Mabry, class of 68. He won the discus in the state meet as a senior, but he was really more known as a football player. He was All-State, played in the All-Star game as a senior. Then he went to the University of Arkansas from 69 to 71 and started at offensive tackle. Was a great performer for the Hogs. Played in the Sugar Bowl, and he was played in some of those senior classic games, the Hula Bowl. He played in the Coaches All-American game, played the Northwest Shrine game. He was drafted in the NFL by the New York Giants in 72. I think spent a little time with the Houston Oilers. So Tom Mabry is the next one. Wilbur Owen. A lot of people know Wilbur as a professor at UCA for many years, but before that, he was a wonderful athlete, multi-sport. He won the Frankie Robbins Award in 1960 as a senior for best all-around athlete, football and track. Track was his best sport. He helped the Wampus Cats win the 1960 state championship track meet. He won 3 individual races and helped anchor 3 winning relay teams to help them win that 60 state championship. He went on to UCA where he was a All-AIC and All-American performer for the Bears, helped them win 4 AIC titles, and he's been inducted into the Arkansas Track and Field Hall of Fame. That's how good his track career was. Next up, Ruel Shepard. He's a little more recent. You probably remember him, Jeff. You probably called some games when Ruel Shepard was quarterback.
Right.
He graduated in 93. He won the Frankie Robbins Award that year as the best senior athlete. 3-sport guy, football, basketball, and track. All-state football, played in the 93 football all-star game. He was a high jumper in track and played quarterback. But dig this. He went to Murray State to play college football for Houston Nutt and bulked up playing linebacker and became an all-conference linebacker for the Murray State Racers and helped them qualify for the NCAA playoffs a couple of years. So Ruel, but he works over UCA now as well. Next up, we're going way back. Ken Stevens. He graduated, and I'm going to make sure I say this right. He graduated Conway High School in 1948. Wow. He graduated high school in 1948. Track and football guy, usually competed in 6 events in track. He was the high point man at the 1948 state track meet. He also went to UCA, played football and track. Again, probably track was his better sport to play. He was All-American in track, but then he went on to coach football. Coached at Conway a couple of years, then went to North Little Rock, won 3 state championships there. Then he came back to UCA, coached football in the 70s, and they won 4 AIC titles. They were national runner-up in 1976, and he's also been inducted in the Arkansas Track and Field Hall of Fame and the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. And then finally, a name we all know and love is Janet Taylor. Coach Taylor just retired recently this past year. She spent 36 years in the district, coached everything and anything, junior high, high school. She won 8 state championships in 4 different sports, boys golf, girls basketball, girls basketball, and volleyball. And then several state runner-ups, multiple conference championships, was assistant AD towards the later part of her career. And this is maybe one of the most remarkable things anybody's ever done in our group of Wampus Cats in junior high. She was coached the junior high lady team back in 1990 to 1996. They won 140 games in a row, 140 game winning streak from 1990 to 96. And so you think you have an off night every now and then? Didn't happen. 140 games in a row. So that's a quick rundown of our honorees this year.
David, it's such a great thing that you're doing with this Hall of Fame. That's such a great class as well. Can you tell our viewers, just to remind them a little bit about the history of how this came together?
Sure. Well, it was long overdue. Wampus Cat sports been around for over a century, and this the main purpose of this is to honor great former Wampus Cat players and coaches, and now teams. A secondary measure is to help raise money for the Booster Club. Our banquet got canceled this May for the class of 2020 due to coronavirus, but we're hoping to, if the world is back to normal by May of 2021, we'll have a banquet to induct this class and again raise money for the Booster Club to help support all of Conway athletics.
David, I know you mentioned it's the third year. I remember in that first year, you had an expanded class because, getting started, you have so many big names to get in. But what have been some of the challenges here in this third class besides maybe just, trying to get as many in as you can?
Sure, absolutely. Now, we did double up the first year, had a double class of 12, two Wampus Cats, if you will. But it just to catch up, and even after we got those 12 out of the way, we looked at like, oh my gosh, there's tons more deserving honorees. Now, one thing we've done to help make it a little easier is there's a waiting period. For males, it's 25 years, so you have to be out of school 25 years before you're able to be considered. And for females, because they did not get any sporting opportunities until later, the waiting period for them is 10 years. They didn't have any women's sports in the 70s, and very few at that point as well. They didn't really expand women's sports until about 20 years ago. So there's a waiting period, and that helps us cull down the number of honorees. But we're going to have plenty of wonderful honorees keep doing this in a great way for a long time.
David, what's the best way for someone to get involved with the Booster Club? I know you mentioned that's one of the reasons that this happened. So give me a minute to talk about that.
Absolutely. One of the additional perks we wanted to try to drive up Booster Club membership is they get the first vote. We send out a voting list of up to 40 names to the Booster Club, dues-paying members of the Booster Club, and they get to vote on their top 6. They rank them 1 to 6. And then they send it back to us, and we tabulate those results. And actually, their top vote getter is automatically inducted. All right, so whoever they vote, so the Booster Club has direct control over who gets in first. All right, after that, we'll take their rankings and use that to build a good diverse class between different eras and sports and male and female, make sure we got a good balance for everything. And so joining the Booster Club is a great way to support Wampus Cats, to learn about Wampus Cat history, and vote on the Hall of Fame classes. And you can contact Beth Flusmeyer at the athletic office about information about joining.
David, we appreciate your time and everything you do for the Wampus Cats. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks, guys. Go Cats.
Good evening and welcome back to the friendly confines of John McConnell Stadium. I'm Levi Gilbert alongside color analyst Tim Roach, and we are live in Conway tonight for the opening round of the 7A state football playoffs. Your Wampus Cats play host to the 3-7 Springdale Bulldogs tonight out of the 7A West. But before we take a look at tonight's matchup, Tim, it just feels good to be able to say that we're here tonight for the playoffs. Obviously, the story all year, COVID-19, how it has impacted the state and the whole world. But it's certainly had an impact on football during the season, and it's making an impact tonight for both teams. But we are here and we are playing.
Well, it's the deal where throughout the year you were able to rearrange schedules, try to figure out who can play where, literally playing pickup games throughout the middle of the year. Now it's the playoffs, and if you can't play, if there's enough of an impact on your team and you can't play, it's a forfeit, and you have to – it's end of the season. And for the seniors, for those teams, many teams this week had to opt out of or not play this week due to COVID impact. And so it's just a tragic ending to the season for many teams. So you're absolutely correct. We're just fortunate to be here.
One game tonight already canceled in the 7A. One of 4 games across the entire playoffs and all classifications that have been canceled. Bentonville West having to cancel tonight. Catholic will move on to the quarterfinals automatically, and we'll continue to cover this tonight as we go. But yeah, it's just been one of those years where anything can happen, but it feels good to be able to be here tonight. We're going to go ahead and take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with Tim's 3 things as we prepare for Springdale against your Conway Wampus Cats here in the 7A opening round of the playoffs on Conway Corp.
For nearly 100 years, Conway Regional has provided high-quality, compassionate health care to the communities we serve, and we are honored to be named the 2020 Best Hospital in Arkansas by readers of AY Magazine. Thank you to the thousands of readers who chose Conway Regional as the best hospital. We're bringing you innovative services, new clinics, more specialists, and expanded access to care. We're not just growing, we're growing together.
Back in Conway tonight as the Wampus Cats are set to take on the Springdale Bulldogs to open the 7A state playoffs. Conway coming into the playoffs off of what was undoubtedly the most challenging night a week ago, to say the least, last week in Bryant.
You score 33 points and you get sportsmanship ruled. It's always a tough thing to do. That's a lot of points. 70-33 last week against Bryant. They showed who they were in terms of how they prepare for their games and the talent level that they have. We couldn't match up on the defensive side, but we were able to score some points. So this week, the first thing I would say from my three things is this. We have to bounce back. We have to see all three phases clicking. And last week we saw the offense still 33 points. We left 14 points out there. So we were actually better than what the scoreboard showed. We should have been somewhere around the 50-point mark, which against Bryant is miraculous, and that says something about our offense. But we really need to bounce back, and that means keep your head up, eyes forward. It's a 0-0 game now. It's everybody's even though you're 1 versus 8 and 2 versus 7. Everybody's even. So bouncing back tonight against Springdale is imperative. Really trying to show our game on all three phases.
Well, and you just don't know week to week now what you're going to be facing. We're seeing that tonight with a lot of players out on both sides of the ball. So all you can really do is just control what you can control.
That's right. You're going to get to see some guys play that haven't played this year much, and they get an opportunity. It's an exciting time for them as well. So we've got to, just as we've done every week, really, we've been able to score points on the offensive side of the ball. We've struggled at times to stop the opposing offenses, but we've been able to score. We need to start fast. We've had too many games where we really have been behind early, and we've come back and taken the lead, except for last week, where we've done a good job doing that. We need to start early, really get a good score on the board, and let them play from behind.
And we will have that opportunity. I believe we won the toss, and for the first time this season, we are going to elect to receive.
Maybe they were listening into our conversation. I've been asking that question. Defense, and it's just been a struggle defensively. We're so young on the defensive side, by the way, and we've put our defense out there first, and we've fallen behind. So maybe this is the chance to do that. So good chance to start fast. I like that. We need to get some early stops, and not necessarily 3 and outs. You love 3 and outs on the defensive side. We just need to be a bend, don't break kind of defense. The third thing I would say is this, and it kind of relates to the defense, is that we need some confidence. You play hard, you play fast. We've got, I think, 22 turnovers now on the season, made some big plays defensively all year long, and we don't have a lot to show for that. We've struggled with letting teams score. So let's get some stops. Make sure if we bend, we don't break, and continue to fly to the ball. That's the one thing I can say about this defense. And I'm an old defensive guy, so I can appreciate this. They fly to the football. We make some mistakes, but we make mistakes going fast. So we're not huge on defense. We are definitely young. We need to see some of those young guys step in, make really good plays while they're moving so fast. And those are the Tim's 3 things for tonight. It's going to be an interesting game because, as you pointed out, both teams impacted by all the COVID actions that are going on. Springdale is limited a little bit, and so Zach Clark has got his hands full tonight.
Yeah, the word on the street for Zach Clark is that he's going to also be calling the defense tonight, which,
Wow.
he is, for the Conway fans who remember, not that long ago, Zach Clark was here at UCA quarterbacking the Bears. So all that to say, not known for his defensive prowess, let's just say. But yeah, he's a little short-handed tonight, and you can see it as Springdale comes out onto the field. A very small group of Bulldogs making the trip all the way from Northwest Arkansas. And here come your Wampus Cats, and you see out in front tonight Jamal Bethune. Jamal coming off a good comeback game a week ago at Bryant. Had a 63-yard touchdown run late in that game. It looked good to see him what I would say finally back at 100%.
Well, his touchdown run from about 63 yards late in the game there, I think it was early in the fourth quarter, maybe late in the third, was an absolutely brilliant run. He used all of his skills that we've seen all year long. He had a great block, by the way, from Jalen Williams, and Connor Crutchfield that opened the spot. But he had to run past linebackers that are elite linebackers. A couple of weeks ago, he might have struggled to get past that with that burst of speed, but last week he had it.
Springdale will start things off kicking away tonight. Place kicker number 91, Tevin Tate. He's the only one out there right now lined up for the Bulldogs.
Well, and I think this is one of the areas that has been compromised a bit for them is the kicking game.
Well, and this is something that you'll have to keep an eye on as special teams, things like that, where it's hard enough sometimes getting all the players to the huddle when you need them on a night like tonight when you may have certain players out. Making sure you've got 12 on the field at all times might be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, we've even got, and I see Wade Simpson out there. I can't recall if he's been out there all year long, but good to see Wade Simpson out in our special teams.
Bryce Bohannon, Manny Smith back to receive for your Wampus Cats. Manny, special teams player of the week this week for Conway. Opening kickoff for your Wampus Cats, going to bounce near the 20. Manny's going to have to jump on that quick. He barely gets over there to it in time. Conway will take over right at the 20.
The kick had a funny spin to it, and you know, Manny, I get what he was trying to do there. It looked like that ball was headed out of bounds, and as soon as it hit the turf, it stopped, which was, you know, got a first-time kicker out there. The ball's liable to do anything.
Jamal Bethune getting the start tonight in the backfield. 4 receivers set for Ben Weiss, the state's leading passer in yards and touchdowns. Weiss fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it himself as he is under pressure near the 20.
Looked like a little bit of a busted play there. Ben had to tuck it and run. That's not a normal option for him off of that kind of setup. So either they had it covered pretty well or he just had to bring it down.
Tevin Tate with the tackle, also starting defensive end. I'll hand off to Manny Smith on the sweep. Manny's got some room on that right side. He'll pick up near first down.
Pretty close. He got to the edge. That's good to see from Manny. We haven't seen him in the backfield. Now, he ran out of the slot, a little bit of a jet sweep there. But good to see him handle the ball from behind the line of scrimmage trying to make a play. So 3rd and 1 here. Good opportunity for us to continue to press forward.
3rd and 1. They'll get the little pass out to Jamal Bethune. That one was a little worrisome. They're going to call it a forward pass, but my angle, it almost looked like it could have been a lateral.
Yeah, it bounced back pretty quickly off the shoulder pads. A little bit too much heat on the swing out to Jamal there.
4th and 1. We'll see if they decide to punt away here. Ben Weiss going to stay in that standard spot as they'll try and draw Springdale off sides. They're going to stay. Hand off to Jamal Bethune. He's met at the line. Let's see if he can push forward for the first down. An extra push from Jamal. Huge.
Wow, that was a shocker there. I really didn't know that they would try that. We've seen them all year long. The early clap, try to draw them off sides, and you see Ben Weiss drop back 3 or 4 steps for the pooch kick. And he's done a great job of doing that all year long. He's really gotten it off other than a couple of times. Good first down there for the Wampus Cats.
First down, they'll get the pass out. Boogie Carr out on the far side.
Wow. Now, talk to the coaching staff this week. They wanted for the scheme for this defense that they're facing. Really quick hits is going to be kind of what you might see. A lot of movement side to side. You saw it in the jet sweep with Manny Smith earlier. Quick hits, screen, bubble screens, wide receiver screens.
Be trips to the left for Weiss. They'll hand off to Boogie Carr. Boogie. Nice gain.
Boogie's inside skills have really matured over the course of the year. You know, he got thrown into some action, some extended action with Jamal Bethune being out, and he's had to. That's Jamal's lane, right? That middle of the interior of the offensive line, and Boogie has gotten better and better at that action.
2nd and 6. They'll fake the car, set up the screen for Bryce Bohannon. Bryce making a move out near the 40.
Good open field tackle there by Springdale. That's that play where if you get one miss and it's over with, it's lights out for Bryce Bohannon, but a good open field tackle.
Move trips to the right, set up that little screen pass, a little pass out in the flats for Boogie Carr. Boogie making a move back towards the middle. He'll gain a few yards.
3 or 4 yards, especially in our offense. I mean, you have a chance to bust one at any given point. You can get positive yardage with some of these plays. It's a win for us.
They'll hand off to Jamal Bethune here. Jamal leaning forward for a couple yards.
We're definitely in 4-down territory here, so anything can happen from 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5. You've got a lot of options open here for Ben Weiss.
3rd and 7, 2 receivers to each side. Weiss looking to his left. He's going to float one up for Bryce Bohannon. Bryce, the hands, touchdown, Conway. 36-yard strike from Weiss to Bohannon.
It's a great throw by Ben Weiss. I'm not going to knock the throw, but that was a spectacular catch. Over the shoulder, leaning backwards toward the boundary. Bryce continues to amaze. He just continues to amaze with his ability to catch the ball.
15th touchdown on the year for Bohannon. His 15th receiving touchdown. Extra point attempt is up and good, and your Wampus Cats lead early here in the opening round of the state playoffs, 7-0 over Springdale. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp.
Arkansans appreciate community. We work and raise families, care for our neighbors, and come together in good times and bad. At First Security, that local strength is what we love best about our home state. There is commitment here, and heart, and hope. Thank you to everyone who is standing together, learning from one another, and making Arkansas a place we all love to call home. We're proud to be your community bank.
Wampus Cats with the early lead here in the opening round of the 7A state playoffs off the 36-yard touchdown pass to Bryce Bohannon.
I mean, 3rd down and you know, reachable at 5 yards, and what does Kelly draw up? A bomb to Bryce Bohannon. That tells you a little bit about the not only the confidence he has in Bryce Bohannon. Why wouldn't you? But Ben Weiss has thrown the ball so spectacularly all year long. Just a great opportunity just to drop one out there. Nobody's really expecting us to go deep there. They're looking for us to run a bubble screen, maybe even hand the ball off. What a great throw.
Well, give some credit to this offensive line, too. They gave Weiss plenty of time in that pocket. Springdale going to start things off past the 25.
Troy Wiseman has made, you know, I've watched him throughout the year in the secondary. He's played obviously very well in the secondary, but he really plays well on special teams. He is a guy that flies down the boundary on these kickoffs. You know, that's a spot where if somebody slips up and holds their block just long enough, it can be a real problem. He's done a great job of making tackles on the boundary.
So a lot of new starting faces on the defense tonight, including three new starters on the defensive line. Number 78, Kelton Thomas. Number 97, Ethan Winningham. And number 93, DeMarco McKenzie. So entirely new defensive line tonight.
So they call him Big D. So that's what I'll go with DeMarco McKenzie. He's Big D.
And Michael Hardaway starting tonight at corner. 2nd and short for Springdale. Their starting running back, Gilberto Dominguez, out tonight. So you'll see a lot of Andre Sparks and Davon Sparks in the backfield.
Good tackle by McKenzie there. Yeah, so their running back situation with one guy being out. This is the guy right here, quite frankly, when you look at the game film, Sparks is really kind of, in my mind, was really their most dangerous weapon that they have out there. So still a lot of problems here.
1st and 10 for Springdale. Muffed handoff is going to be recovered by Conway in the air. It was a bad snap.
Wow.
led to a mishandled handoff, and the ball just went straight up into the air and into the arms. Who was it?
Noah Troutman.
Noah Troutman, senior, getting the start tonight in place of Garrett Sanders.
I've never seen a ball go from a handoff off of the quarterback's shoulder pads and then over the line of scrimmage. That was a strange play. Great job by Noah just catching it and advancing it.
11th fumble recovery of the year for this Wampus Cat defense. On first down, Ben Weiss under pressure. He's going to get out. There is a flag in the backfield. This one might be coming back, but there's going to be another flag with a late hit on Weiss as he was trying to go out of bounds.
I'm afraid we might have. I'm guessing the initial one is holding, and I'm afraid that because it's thrown into the middle of the field, could be holding down here on the 20 as well. We had a lot of guys blocking down there. Jaden Williams was down there as well. Yeah, so I think we got some holding.
So you don't think it was a late hit on Weiss there?
I think the flags came out so early that it was before he hit the boundary. I think it's holding on both spots. But I've been wrong before.
What's the Anchorman quote? That's a double whammy.
Holding number 79 of the offense. That penalty is accepted. Illegal blindside block.
There we go.
The offense, number 24.
So it's a holding and then an illegal blindside block. They will decline the blindside block and accept the holding in the backfield, and that's going to, because of the way the pocket was collapsing, that spot foul, it's going to bring it back all the way to the 50. So it's going to be 1st and 25 for the Wampus Cats.
That blindside block is a hard thing, especially at the high school level, because you're still trying to figure out how to block downfield, and a guy is in a bad position that can get away from you very quickly.
1st and 25. Weiss is going to find Wes Boudreaux out on the far side. Wes going to go out near the 37.
Wes has done
43. Sorry.
Yeah, 40. Wes has done a really good job here lately of breaking that initial stop. Early in the season, he didn't do that, and so it's good to see him bust out of an initial tackle.
Well, it still kills me every time I see on the same side Bryce Bohannon, Wes Boudreaux, and Manny Smith. Just so much speed, and they're going to look for Bryce again. They've got him, but just leading him out a little too far. Bryce was open in that secondary.
That would have been cover breakdown number 3 for Bryce Bohannon on the year. I mean, he was behind everybody completely. Ben just didn't put just enough air. If he'd have lofted it up a little bit more, Bryce could have run underneath it. But, hey, time to regroup. 3rd and long.
3rd and 19. They're going to set up a screen on the far side for Jamal Bethune, and Jamal, lots of space out there.
That's some of that screen game that we have not really seen, by the way. That's a play I have not seen this year where you have almost like a wheel route, but it's really a screen out of the backfield.
They'll hurry to the line again, 1st and 10. And this time they'll hand off to Jamal. Jamal cutting it back towards the middle. Nice gain of 5 or 6.
So that was 3rd and about 18. And you throw a pass that is behind the line of scrimmage, and you make it, and now you're down there in the red zone again.
2nd down, they'll stay trips to the left. They're going to find Manny Smith in the flats. Manny making a burst of speed, still on his feet, past the 5, into the end zone. 16-yard touchdown reception for Manny Smith, and about 15 of it was him fighting through traffic.
He is 5'5", 150. 5'5", 150. And he got hit initially at about the 12-yard line and literally pulled Springdale into the end zone with him and didn't go down, ran through it all. Manny Smith.
We're going to have our top 10 plays of the year at halftime. We've already seen 2.
Can we add that?
Here in the first quarter that could maybe be on that list. 7:33 left here in the first quarter. Conway up 14-0 over Springdale. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp.
Helton's Wrecker U-Haul has the service you need. Whatever the automotive problem, Helton's has the diagnostics to repair it. If you're moving across town or across country, Helton's is your #1 choice for U-Haul in Conway. We have a wide selection of packing supplies for every aspect of your move. Also, we sell and install hitches. Call 327-469-6 for a quote. At Helton's Wrecker U-Haul, we are always on our toes. Give us a call at 327-7681.
Just under 5 minutes of game time played here in the opening round of the 7A state playoffs, and Conway up 14-0 early behind the efforts of Bryce Bohannon and Manny Smith.
Some extra effort by Manny Smith to get into the end zone. You know, Bryce makes a great catch. That's just an individual effort. And you talk about an individual effort. Manny Smith got tackled by Springdale at the 12-yard line and pulled the entire defensive team into the end zone.
Lee 7 for 9 for 106 early. Springdale going to take this one out past the 20. Go out of bounds near the 25-yard line.
Yeah, great job there by Michael Hardaway and Maurice Freeman, a couple of guys that are on the regular defensive side of the ball. We got some people playing some different things from a special team perspective tonight, so good to see a good tackle there by those two guys.
Good to see Levern Floyd on the field now and DeTravion Banks on the field as well, but he is wearing a different number tonight, number 91, in honor of Jalen McEwen, who unfortunately is out for the rest of the year after the injury a week ago at Bryant.
That's too bad, too.
Jalen been such a mainstay on this defensive line. Really, the entire 3 years that Coach Fimple's been here. He's one of those original sophomore class members when Fimple came in, and getting to talk to Coach Fimple this week off air, you could just hear it in his voice. It was really hurting him.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and you hate it for a young man that has worked, has done everything, and to not be at this point to be able to play in the playoffs, it's really disheartening. So really feel bad for Jalen.
2nd and 8, Phipps will hand it off here. And not much going there in the middle of that Conway defense.
Good job by the interior line there. I mean, you had Laverne Floyd out there really getting it active. We're going to see some new faces. We started off with some different faces there. So this is going to be a good chance for us to keep some guys healthy, try to keep some guys, get them some work, and hopefully win the ball game in the process. We want to make sure we're staying healthy, though, at the end of the game.
This is a team that likes to run the ball. That's their bread and butter. This defense has had more success stopping air attacks. Phipps is going to keep it himself. That ball came out again. It's still on the ground. Springdale looks like they're going to retain the ball here.
Yeah, they were fortunate to get it and get the first down with the fumble. So that's kind of a double whammy again against the Wampus Cats. But really good tackle. And our defense, once you start that train of getting turnovers, it becomes kind of a frenzy, and everybody wants it. And so you like to see that from this defense. We're going to need all those turnovers we can get.
Reese Freeman, he's been able to get turnovers this year out on that edge. Phipps will pass here. They're going up top. Troy Wiseman in defense. Incomplete.
Great job by Troy. Turning for the ball when the receiver made his move to look up for the ball. That's one of the things that defensive backs are trained to do, is you run with your man, and when his eyes go up for the ball, you go up with him. And Troy did that, turned his head, because if you don't turn your head there and you run into the wide receiver, that could be an easy call for the official for defensive pass interference. But when you're looking back, it gives a different angle on the play.
Troy was defending Kalon Morris there. Morris with some size up there. Phipps will keep on 2nd down. Taken down quickly. Short gain. The ball came out again.
Let's see.
It's Conway's ball. 2nd fumble recovered here in the 1st quarter. I don't know who jumped on it. We'll have to, was it Jaden Robinson?
Yes, he's the one with the ball. I'm guessing. We'll see who gets the belt. But wow, what a great play by our defense. And again, gripping the ball as you go down. That's the sign of a very active defense, really wanting to get the ball back for their offense.
It's the 2nd fumble recovered here in the 1st quarter, 3rd ball that's put down, and we've got a special offensive set here with Michael Hardaway checking in at quarterback. And they're going to throw a flag.
Dead ball, snap infraction on number 55. 5-yard penalty.
Snap infraction.
Yeah,
I haven't heard it described that way many times.
And I was hoping it wasn't going to happen, but he picked up the ball to reset. And so Nick, he finally got called for one.
Back it up, 1st and 15. Hardaway will stay for the design run, and Hardaway's got space right up the middle.
This is a different look. I mean, Hardaway brings a different element to the offense. Being a little bit shorter, a better thrower really than Michael, and so we've seen that all year long, by the way. But boy, Michael brings a real speed to the quarterback position.
Weiss checks back in. Boogie Carr to his left. Set up the swing pass to Carr. Boogie's got space, makes a cut back up the middle, and no one near him. 29 yards for Boogie Carr.
That's the way that play is designed, by the way, is to get him in space. You've got all of the blockers going to the boundary. You want him to be able to check that outside foot and hit the lane, hit the seam, as they say, and that's exactly how that play went to be. Exactly how they drew it up.
I'll tell you, this is how you draw it up as a team. Defense, get us the ball. Offense, put it in the end zone. It has happened 3 times already here in the first quarter. Conway up 21-0 over Springdale. 30 seconds, and we're back on Conway Corp.
Take it outside, boys.
Johnson's down the right side. He crosses into a corner and shoots. Oh, brilliant.
You didn't plan on a disaster, but you have a choice on who restores it. Choose the best. Tell your insurance provider you choose All Clean USA.
Mom said take it outside.
Just like that, 21-0. Conway up on Springdale here in the first round of the 7A state playoffs.
What you want from your defense is you're out there to do 2 things. You're out there to stop their offense or turn the ball over to your offense. And so far we've seen that happen, the second element of it. And that's been Conway's bag all year long is the turnovers. Is that 24 now, I think, 24?
Yeah, I think that's 23 or 24. They've now, the fumble recoveries have now overtaken interceptions on the year. Springdale going to get this ball out close to the 30. Kaylon Morris with the return.
Ashton Waller with the tackle. Again, our defensive guys that are normal starters on defense are really being active in special teams. We've talked about all 3 elements of the game being important. That's important every week, but especially after a week like last week, you want to see everybody playing well. That includes your special teams, and we're seeing that tonight.
See how Springdale responds. Phipps going to get a pass out on the far boundary, incomplete.
Great job by Preston Prock there on the underneath side. You had Ashton Waller over the top, and the way our defense plays out into the boundaries, you see a lot of that. You see the underneath and over the top coverage of anyone out in the flat, and so it requires the quarterback just to drop it perfectly over the top of a Preston Prock, and it's hard to do.
2nd and 10. Phipps will keep it himself. Out on that left side, going to be a short gain.
Good job by Jaden Robinson there. Noah Troutman out there as well. Really worked the edge well there. I mean, this quarterback, that's what he will do. We've seen this from several quarterbacks that we've played this year, that if they need positive yardage, they'll just keep it in the hands of the quarterback and let him just try to make something out of it. And that's what Springdale does a lot of. That was the game film coming in.
Nick Thompson, tight end in the backfield. Springdale shorthanded running backs tonight. Phipps under pressure, going back up the middle, and he's going to be captured by Noah Troutman. Big sack.
Noah Troutman's coming to play tonight. He already has a turnover. He's got several tackles already, being very active. Tonight he's getting a chance to play some extended time, making the most of it. That's Noah Troutman.
Noah, the senior, one of the lone seniors in that linebacking core. So 4th and 13. Phipps is also Springdale's punter. He'll step back for the pooch kick, and he skies this one. Bryce trying to haul it in near the 40, and looked like the little defender a little closer than you would expect. There's no flag on the field, but Bryce able to haul it in nonetheless.
So 2 fortunate things happened there. Number 1, Bryce fell on the ball. He was kind of in his grill there, and I'm sure that Coach Fimple will have a question to the official about that. But as he is having right now,
yeah,
as he's doing right now,
as is happening at this moment.
But the other thing is we had 10 players on the field, so we caught a break on both sides.
Nice little fake for Weiss. They'll roll out and get it to Manny Smith. Manny going to be caught behind the line. That play just taking a little too long to develop. Springdale being a little more disciplined on the edge.
So they're stepping up now. So here's what happens, and so the toss was a little bit too firm into his backside, but now they're jumping on these backwards passes, and the line of scrimmage. You're going to see something go deep here shortly. 2nd and 13, fake, get it to the flats to Manny Smith. Manny making a move near the 40. Short pickup, going to bring up a manageable 3rd and let's call it 7 or 8. Interesting. That's an interesting choice of words, Levi. Manageable 3rd and 7, but in this offense, it really is. I mean,
manageable, yeah.
It's true. But really a good job by Manny just to get what he could out of that.
Empty backfield for Weiss. He's got lots of time. Going to roll out to the left, and he's going to keep it himself and easily pick up the 1st down.
You forget. I mean, people do. They forget Ben Weiss can do that, and he's done it all year long. Really, when we've seen some pressure. In this case, nobody was open. They dropped everybody back. There was really nobody to throw the ball to. Bryce tried to break off his route and come back. Ben can run with the football. He's a very good athlete.
Boogie Carr in the backfield now, trips to the right. And they'll hand off to Boogie right up the middle, cuts it back to the left, still on his feet. Nice gain for Boogie.
That's one thing you've seen about with all these running backs, and you know, it's been that way really for the Wampus Cat program. Our running backs really do run hard after contact, and you see it across the board here for us. Again, running backs making the most of everything they can get.
Conway hurrying to the line and getting another quick play off. It's going to bring up 3rd and short. 30 inches.
The tackle. And 4, 3rd down and a yard.
Fake to Bethune. Quick slant to Bryce Bohannon. We've seen that several times this year, and every time it happens, I get that good feeling that we're about to put points on the board.
He actually, the quarterback there made a really good tackle in the open field to catch him by his shoe tops.
Hand off to Jamal Bethune as Conway is just running so fast back up to the line. Jamal still on his feet past the 1st down marker. Another 1st down for these Wampus Cats.
It's not just enough that Springdale is short-handed this evening on some of their starters, but you've got to prepare for the speed like this, and it's just really difficult.
Nick Thompson.
Weiss looking back to his left for Dylan Silverman Barnes across the middle. A little bit of early contact.
That was, Ben did a good job there, and it's one of those passes that kind of goes unnoticed. He only put it where Dylan could get it, and there was no chance for anybody else to get that.
2nd and 10, they'll hand off to Jamal. Jamal closing in near the 10-yard line.
Tackle was made by Andre Sparks.
They'll set it back
3rd down, 7.
at the 11. 3rd and 7. Weiss looking for Wes Boudreaux right over the middle, and just a good defensive play there, and Boudreaux unable to come down with the completion.
Yeah, that crossing route, that deep crossing route, if you don't get to the spot you need in this zone, in the red zone, it's hard to do because you've got safeties playing up a little closer and not as deep, and they were right there to make the tackle as West caught it.
Now set up a 28-yard field goal attempt for the freshman kicker, Adrian Mejia. Mejia 5 of 7 on the year. Good snap, good kick. It is good. 24-0. Conway leads now. 54 seconds left to go here in the 1st quarter. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp.
From day one, Centennial has been there for the people of Conway. The people that teach us, protect us, guide us, and work to make Conway better every day. That's why we've donated over $5 million to local organizations and causes. And we have the same commitment to serving you for life's milestones and everyday moments. Centennial Bank, proud to call Conway and Faulkner County home.
Conway up 24-0 here in the first quarter. Give a little shout out to the Owens family watching on Conway Corp here in Conway. No Pocahontas playoff game tonight, so Steve Owens not on the road tonight. He can watch some Conway football. I like it.
A little bit of an upside, I guess, to all the issues of teams not being able to play.
Well, Pocahontas is going to play next week.
Oh, that's right.
Pocahontas, I think they're in 3A maybe, or 4A. I know some of these classifications. Wow, this ball almost recovered there by Troy Wiseman. Troy just making plays on defense and special teams. But what I was about to say before Troy woke me up was a few of these classifications, they're actually having play-in games this week because, again, everyone was able to opt in to the playoffs this year in all classifications. So you kind of 7A and 6A, it's easy. If all 16 teams are in, we're just all going to play. We did have, Southwest decided to opt out. But once you get to 5A and you start having 32 teams and then even further down, I think there's even more, it gets a little unwieldy. So I know if some of these 3A in particular, like Mayflower, they're in the first round of the playoffs, but they don't actually have that first round game until next week because of the play-in games. Maurice Freeman making a big play out in the flats.
That's man-to-man there, and if you're not able to make that play in that tackle, that's very much an island out there, and that's your kind of your outside linebacker, your bandit, making a play, making a huge stop, 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Just a great play by Maurice Freeman there.
That'll bring up 2nd and 15 for the Bulldogs. They're getting backed up. Phipps with the fake, rolling out to his right. They're going to look on the wheel route, and they have got a wide open Davon Sparks. He's going to go out near the 45.
So that's a great play called by Zach Clark. You had your fastest guy on Springdale out on our linebacker, and Preston did a great job of staying with him for a while, but you have to be able to get that cornerback over to the edge, and when they ran the waggle basically to the other side of the field, it opened that up.
That's going to do it for the first quarter of play here. Score is 24-0. Conway on top. 30 seconds, and we're back on Conway Corp.
You're watching Conway Corp, Channel 5 and 585. Conway's source for local community programming. Here you'll find the Wampus Cats, Conway City Council, here and there featuring local events. Burn and breathe that will get your heart rate up and down. Find new adventures on Away for a Day or grab your sketch pad and draw with Mr. Foy's easel. Plus, learn more about Conway Corp's store. We're creating original programming with Conway in mind on Conway Corp, Channel 5 and 585.
At Conway Corp, we believe in providing the very best services for you and your family. That's why Conway Corp offers a home security system and home automation service. With it, you get the reliability and peace of mind of a home security system backed by a local team you know and trust. Learn more at conwaycorp.com. 1st and 10 here for Springdale, and Phipps going deep again. That one almost picked off by Wiseman as the pass was a little behind target.
We did a good job there by our secondary talking about what was there, because that play was actually open. The ball was thrown behind him. Troy actually almost came up with it because he was behind the receiver, which is the spot you never want to be at. He and Ashton are together out there talking about what happened in that play. So now you're getting some communication, and that's what you want to see when you got a problem.
2nd and 10. Phipps will hand off to Sparks. A little bit of hesitation on that handoff. Phipps getting it off at the last little second there.
Sparks is not a real tall athlete, super fast, good moves. When I watched the game film on Springdale, he was the first guy that popped it out to me.
Yeah, you were telling me all week, watch out for number 1.
Yeah, he's fast to the edge, man. He is fast to the edge.
3rd and 4 coming up for the Bulldogs. Davon Sparks in the backfield there with Phipps. Hand off to Sparks again. Jaden Robinson almost getting him in the backfield. Sparks getting around that edge is going to pick up a first down.
Wow, that looked like we had him dead to rights in the backfield. And with his speed to the edge, he just outran our outside cover. and got to the boundary and gets upfield for a first down. He's tough on the edge. We're going to have to get a hat on him.
Ethan Winningham checking in for Trey Banks. A lot of new faces. Well, not entirely new faces. We've seen these faces on the defensive line. They're just
seeing more of them.
Getting a lot more action tonight for sure. First and 10, they'll hand off to Sparks. He's met right in the middle.
Good job by Trey Hill there, also Ethan Winningham, and you have, linebackers are all coming up to make plays once they notice the run, and that's what we know that Springdale does. They try to run the ball. They are missing their number one running back, so Sparks is not even their number one guy. But we had a linebacker flash into the gap, but a great job really by Trey Hill just to get that stop.
Andre Sparks in the backfield now with Phipps. Phipps likes to run the ball too. They'll hand off to Sparks. Sparks with a burst of speed. Had a nice little window in the middle. It's going to bring up third and short.
Really good attack into the gap there. There was no hesitation. It looked like a little bit like Jamal Bethune there in terms of speed to the offensive line. Had the gap read. They blocked it well up front and was able to make about 8 or 9 out of that.
Third and 1, Phipps will go under center and he'll keep it himself. Easy push across the line for the first down.
That's tough at the high school level, and I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago. That quarterback sneak just to get, a half a yard, maybe a yard, that is tough in the high school level because, in the NFL and college, you've got so many big, beefy guys up there that there's some kind of stalemate that happens. But at the high school level, you can get just one little seam and one little gap, and it's an easy yard.
Big D, DeMarco McKenzie checking back in on the defensive line. First and 10 for the Bulldogs. High snap is back. Maurice Freeman's going to fall on it. Phipps overran it. Third fumble recovery of the night for this Conway defense, and we're just barely almost 2 minutes into the second quarter.
Well, I mean, the snap was not even close. It was way over the quarterback's head, and Phipps really just had no chance, no chance to do it. Really looked like he had a chance to fall on the ball and overran it, trying to hurry back to the spot, and Maurice Freeman there. Again, Wampus Cats are ball hawks, man. They see a ball on the ground, it's theirs.
24 turnovers forced now on the year for Conway. Weiss going deep on the first play, looking for Micah Mosby. Mosby with the soft hands, 46-yard touchdown pass to Mosby.
That's got to be his longest catch of the year. He's normally been one of those seam guys. He's run a couple on the boundaries. It's not his first touchdown, obviously, but he's been more of an internal guy. This was just a fly pattern down the sidelines, and Ben laid it up for him. Great hands, as you said, by Micah Mosby. Just a great catch.
5th touchdown on the year for Mosby. He's now gone over 400 yards receiving on the year. Extra point is up and good. Conway up 31-0. 10 minutes to play here in the first half. 30-second break and we're back on Conway Corp.
Community is everywhere. Banking where you are, when you need it. On any device. At home, and wherever you play. We're committed to offering excellent service, competitive rates, and convenience in each of our 27 locations and beyond. Visit our website and discover how we can help your community at First Community Bank, where community is everything.
Ben Weiss is the state's leading passer in both passing yards coming into tonight's game, or he's the regular season passing leader. He had the Conway has him with 3,009 yards, which that's just insane that we have a 3,000-yard passer. The Democrat Gazette has his numbers a little under that. Either way, he's over 3,000 for sure after tonight's action. But what a first half that Ben Weiss is having. 196 yards and 4 touchdowns already here in the first half.
I mean, it's just been, you're looking for some, you want the offense to really to kind of just work the ball down the field, get some first downs, and that's kind of how it's game planned. But Mark Kelly's offense can be anything. It can literally be, this play is designed for 3 yards and we get 17. It's designed for 40 and we get 5. That throw there was just a spot-on throw. That was intended to be a bomb, and it was.
Great job by Micah there at the end, getting that extra bit of separation. Micah's been such a solid, dependable receiver all year. First down, it's going to be a nice gain for the Bulldogs to start this possession.
Good hard run by Sparks there, and really, I mean, it was one guy on one guy. It was Noah Troutman out there taking on the running back on the edge, and he did a great job of making good first contact, just kind of had to hold on and got him down by himself.
2nd and 3. 2 backs in the backfield with Phipps. Low snap on the ground. They'll barely get the handoff to Sparks, and he's met well behind the line of scrimmage.
That's a couple of 2 bad snaps in 3 plays. That can take out an offense in the shotgun in today's world. I mean, back in the old days, it was quarterback under center, but no one really plays that way anymore. It's really dependent upon the snap. If the snap doesn't happen, it throws out everything. All the timing was off there. Even though the quarterback did a good job of getting it off the ground, all the timing was lost. Everybody was on the ball.
Well, I do know that Springdale was a little worried about being without some of their more reliable snappers tonight. As they try to get the screenplay set up, they had a little bit of space, but Phipps under pressure, not able to get a clean pass off.
Let's see if that's Traylon McClure. It is.
Conway Wampus Cat on the ground. Does look like it is Traylon.
Yeah, and it was one of those situations where he was going for the ball at the same time with the screen pass. Everybody's flying to that spot, and he saw the tip, and just really unfortunate that he looks like he took a pretty good lick in the midsection.
We'll go ahead.
That's what it is.
We'll go ahead and take a little break here and give them time to check on Traylon. Let's go ahead and take a 60-second break here on Conway Corp.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Ferris Agency in Conway if auto owners make sense for you.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Ferris Agency in Conway if auto owners make sense for you.
Keep going. More. No, stop!
Back in Conway, just missed that play there. Traylon McClure was able to be helped off the field, and on 4th and 6, the Bulldogs going for it from their own 43, and they will turn the ball over on downs.
Well, it looked like for a second there that Phipps had a chance to be able to maybe run for the first down, and we had the receiver covered pretty well. And I thought, well, he's got plenty of space. He's going to make this first down. But Big D was standing in the way, and Big D had him lined up. So good job by DeMarco McKenzie.
First play here will be a handoff to Jamal Bethune, and Jamal, so much space on the left side, and that burst of speed again. 43-yard run from Jamal Bethune.
That's a quick answer. You know, that play's designed, it's one of those I was just talking about. It's designed to get you 7-8 yards if you really pop it well. Maybe made one guy miss, and once he had that happen, it was all the way to the end zone. And we talked about this earlier on. This is the Jamal Bethune we saw earlier in the year.
Yeah.
That real quick burst of speed, and is able to make it last all the way to the end zone.
Jamal finally looking back at 100%. Extra point is up and good. 38-0. Conway leads here in the second quarter. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp.
Attention, please. The news conference will start in mere moments.
Hi, welcome. Good day. I know you have lots of questions about the mysteries surrounding the new Ford Bronco.
We have questions. Over here.
I know you're excited about the new Ford Bronco. The simple answer is Smith Ford is here to help you order and build your new 2021 Ford Bronco.
Come experience Smith Ford's family customer service in Conway, exit 127, right off of I-40.
It's the opening round of the 7A state playoffs. Good shot of the Conway High Band there. Your Wampus Cats up 38-0 over Springdale. Jamal Bethune getting his 9th touchdown run of the year. He's now over 700 yards rushing. And he missed a couple games in the middle.
Yeah.
Not to mention that Conway missed a game, one game short this regular season.
He's just, so glad to see him back at the 100%. You said it earlier, he was at 100% finally. We've talked to the coaches, and they really feel like he's there and he's back. And we saw it at that last long sprint against Bryant, and boy, that was just another play and explosive.
Kickoff will be taken in by Sparks. He's trying to make a move out near the 25, be down near the 27.
There are a lot of Sparks on this team.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
Tajon, Davon, and Andre Sparks. So if you hear Levi say Sparks, it could be one of three folks.
Well, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of cheating because I'm just like, I'll just say Sparks because I've got the numbers a little memorized at this point that I know which ones are Sparks. But yeah, I have to look down to find the first name. The challenge is real.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely real. So still got some new guys on defense. Got 46 out there. And it's Dagan Shoesmith, along with Ethan Winningham, Trey Hill, Big D. So getting to see some new faces out there for sure.
Yeah, Dagan Shoesmith's not a name that I recall saying yet this year. But that's the scenario we're at now with this defense. Is a lot of players out either because of injury or other reasons, and it's just going to be the state of affairs as we are in the playoffs. You're going to see a lot more names and numbers that you haven't seen very much so far this season. Phipps will keep running out to the left, and he'll pick up a first down.
Got loose on the boundary and really made that's the thing that he's dangerous at is getting in open space. He's, again, one of their main threats on the offensive side. And again, with their number one running back being out tonight, he's going to have more of that load and really kind of caught a good spot there in the boundary where we had a couple of new guys out there. So he made some hay while he could.
Cabot's up big on Rogers, 34-0 in the second quarter. Keep looking at other playoff scores as we go through the night. Phipps got a big completion out on the other side of the field. Ball down past the 40.
Great job by Dagan Shoesmith coming back to make the play there. We had some guys trailing the play, and he was one of them and made a really solid tackle there. That looked good.
Kalon Morris with the big catch. First down for the Bulldogs.
That was their biggest play of the night pretty much.
Yep, on the other side of the field. 6:47 to play. They'll hand off to Sparks. And that one is Andre Sparks.
That's Andre Sparks. Great job by Kelvin Thomas and Big D and Trey Banks out there wearing, I was about to say, McEwen. I'm so glad to see him. What a great honor it must be for McEwen to have Trey Banks out there wearing his number. We would love to see him out there and Trey wearing his normal number, but boy, just a really remarkable young man.
2nd and 10. Phipps will keep out on the left side. Got a little bit of space over there as he's taken down by Shoesmith.
And he was Shoesmith hasn't seen a lot of time this year, but he was already reaching for the ball, trying to get strip the ball out. So he's been watching, and he's going to play the game like everybody else. But really good tackle there on the edge.
Shoesmith coming in on this possession and making some plays.
Yeah, love to see the new guys out there and they're flying around. It's their time to play. I mean, we've got Springdale a little bit outmanned here, obviously, and so hopefully we can get to see some of these young guys and maybe some of the seniors who haven't played as much really get some good time tonight.
3rd and 4, play clock ticking down. Springdale will take a timeout. We'll take it with them. 30 seconds, and we're back on Conway Corp.
When you're looking for a new home in Conway, why not call on someone who knows the city better than anyone? Velda Looters with Coldwell Banker RPM Group. She has 25 years of experience and understands every aspect of the home buying and selling process. Buying a home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Working with Velda is easy because she knows your needs are unique and she gives you the personalized service it takes to find your perfect home. She loves Conway High Sports and is a longtime supporter of the Conway Wampus Cats and Lady Cats. Find current listings at her website, veldalooters.com, or give her a call.
Back at John McConnell Stadium, 5:29 left to play here in the first half. Conway up big, 38-0. The Bulldogs putting together a nice little drive here in the second quarter.
Well, they moved the ball right there toward the end of the first quarter as well, and turned the ball over. But they've seen some of this, some success here, and we're in kind of a bend don't break mode. We've got some young guys out there, so you're going to see that bend a little bit.
Hand off to Davon Sparks. He's met in the backfield by Shoesmith and Ashton Waller.
Yeah, Dagan is trying to earn some time, and that being on the official clock. Really good-looking tackle there. That's about 3 or 4 really good-looking tackles by Dagan Shoesmith. Man, really proud for him.
Well, forward progress is about 10 yards in front of where he ended up, as he was being pushed back by Shoesmith and Waller.
All right, 4th down and about 7 here, and for these young guys, this is a pride moment. They don't want to see a first down here.
4th and 7. Phipps will step back under pressure, having to step up. He's going to pick up a first down. He is hit hard out past the 25.
Wow, Trey Roberts flying in from his safety position. Wow. He's out of a shotgun.
That was a big hit.
Yeah, he took over for Traylon when Traylon was out early in the year and played some critical downs for us and had a great game against Jonesboro. That was kind of his breakout moment. We had everybody covered, good pressure from the outside from Banks, and once the quarterback stepped into the pocket, up into the pocket to make a run, Trey Roberts was shot out of a shotgun, man.
Phipps will hand off to Sparks. Sparks breaking tackles, 23 yards into the end zone. Springdale on the board.
That was again just right up the gut. Once you make the linebackers miss, then it's your boundary guys, your safety, your free safety, your strong safety trying to close in to make a play there, and he beat him to the punch, and just a really good run there by Springdale. One of the Sparks guys.
It was Andre Sparks, number 4. Extra point is up and good. 38-7. Conway on top. 4:04 left to go in the first half. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp.
Don't put your health care on hold.
At Conway Regional, your health and safety are our top priority.
We have extensive safety measures in place to protect you from infection
and a variety of options for you to receive the care you need.
From a telemedicine appointment in the comfort of your own home
to a visit to our medical center or clinics,
you'll receive comprehensive and compassionate care.
When you need to visit the hospital, please know that it's safe and secure.
During an emergency, every minute counts. Don't delay your care for fear of COVID-19.
After your visit, we can hold a follow-up appointment through video over our telemedicine system.
Whether you need a primary care visit,
an orthopedic appointment, a visit with a neurologist,
or a prenatal checkup,
surgery, a follow-up appointment,
referral to a specialist,
or emergency care.
We're here for you wherever you are,
no matter the need.
Don't put your health care on hold.
Don't put your health care on hold. Don't put your health care on hold.
For all of your health care needs, Conway Regional is here for you.
Back in Conway, Imperial March playing over
you're excited.
Over the loudspeakers here at John McConnell Stadium. Listen, I'll admit it. I'm excited. I've got some plans for the Mandalorian later tonight, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. Conway up big, 38-7. here in the first half, and they'll get the ball back and a chance to add to it before halftime. Manny Smith taking the delayed pickup, letting it bounce around, and forward progress is going to be marked at the 25.
They need to make that guy the regular kicker. I mean, that spin on the ball is absolutely wicked, and Manny has no idea how it's going to roll. No one knows how it's going to roll.
It just hits and melts into the turf.
Hey, good news on Traylon McClure, who went out earlier. He is jogging up and down the sidelines, so hopefully he's okay.
That is good news indeed. They'll start the drive here with a handoff to Boogie Carr, and he is swallowed up. Flag coming in. My guess is a face mask, and my color analyst Tim over here giving me the
face mask.
You can't see it in here.
The universal.
He was really enthusiastically delivering it. And it is a face mask.
Yeah. You don't see Boogie stopped that quickly without some sort of foreign reason or some illegal penalty. So good to see he's okay, though.
1st and 5. They'll set up the screen for Boogie Carr. Boogie's going to go out of bounds right at the 34.
Good job by Boogie just to get what he could out of that. I mean, they had that covered up pretty well. That's kind of a scout thing. They could see that coming, and yet he was still able to get some real positive yardage.
2nd and 1, 3:48 to go here in the first half. They'll hand off to Jamal Bethune. Jamal bursting through that line, and he's still on his feet down to the 35.
Man, at that point, you just got to think, man, is he going to take it again to the house? Really good tackles, touchdown-saving tackle by Sparks there at the end of the run.
They'll mark it at the 36. Conway back to the line, quickly going deep for Wes Boudreaux. Just put it in there perfectly. What a pass from Ben Weiss.
I mean, you can't drop it any better than that. I mean, that is absolutely spot on. Wes never had to break stride. Ben just dropped it right in his hands. We keep talking about Ben being a really good baseball player. He's a high-end pitcher. He's going to be playing for UCA. He signed a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week. But, boy, that was just dropped in the bucket.
36-yard touchdown to Wes Boudreaux, his 3rd of the year. Extra point is up and good. 45-7. Conway on top, 3:29 to go here in the first half. We'll go ahead and hold it here. 5 touchdowns on the night for Ben Weiss.
I mean, it's just the records. I don't know. Maybe next year we'll see something broken. But wow, I mean, he's just, and this is his first year as quarterback. I mean, it's just absolutely everything he's wanted to do all year long he's done. And here's the thing on that throw. Again, just a fabulous throw by Ben Weiss. I mean, we've said that all year long. He's been able to throw the long ball. He's able to throw the hard ball across the middle. He's been able to soft touch one to the boundary. But here's the thing about that throw. That's Wes Boudreaux. That's next year, okay? Because that's the route where you see Bryce Bohannon this year. That's going to be Wes Boudreaux next year. So get used to that right there. That's that long we'll call it the Bryce Bohannon route. And that's Wes Boudreaux. You're going to see that next year. That's just a glimpse into the future.
Xander Williams going to kick this one off. Xander's kind of the line drive specialist. That's exactly what you'll see here. It's going to be picked up right around the 23. Springdale going to get it out near the 30. That's Leben Mejbin on the return.
That has a dynamic. That squib kick has a dynamic that's just hard to game plan for. I mean, your blocking strategy that you've got in special teams, you have to throw it out the window. There's just nothing that you can do about it. You have no idea what to go with. So there are times when that's the right kind of kick.
Stick around at halftime. We're going to have a special little video saved for all of you. Top 10 plays of the 2020 regular season. We'll be presenting that at halftime. Short gain there for Springdale on first down. And we did premiere it already today for the team.
Yes.
If I heard that correctly.
That's correct. And I think they had a good time with it in the pregame meal. They showed it, and they had to show it a few times just to make sure they caught everything. But I think a really good. I mean, we only had about 180 plays to choose from.
Right, yeah. It's been a season of big plays for your Wampus Cats, that's for sure. All the turnovers the defense has been able to bring in, and special teams plays, and then, of course, this epic offense that we've been able to see this year, first year under Mark Kelly. It's just been a highly productive and fun offense to watch.
Well, and it's just his first year. I mean, and so
the strangest of first years.
Absolutely, there's a lot wrong with this year in terms of being able to practice and get together. Wow, man, this has been dynamic.
3rd and 1, Phipps will keep it, and he's met in the backfield by Trey Banks.
That was a great play. He beat his man right off the line of scrimmage, and it's a solo tackle. You see that a lot of times. You see a guy bust through there, and the running back has enough time to make a shift, make a move, and make you miss. He didn't even have a chance to do that there.
Under 2 minutes to play, 4th and 2. Ball spotted at the 39. And they'll look to the sideline. Looks like they are going to go for it here. Phipps will hand off to Sparks, and Sparks met right at that line of scrimmage. It's going to be close.
Well, I'd say probably where his right foot is or his left foot is, I think it's probably not. It's going to be short, yeah.
Conway ball turnover on downs.
So that's a great spot for our defense, by the way. I mean, you could see, you'd think with as many points as we scored in the first half, that allowing Springdale to score one touchdown, now let's get just one score in the bigger scheme of the night. They were defeated.
They're both on fire.
They were not defeated. They were mad. You could see them on the sidelines. They were talking loud at each other. They were trying to get everybody fired up. So a lot of pride on this defense.
Short field for the offense. 1:33 to play here in the first half. They'll start with a handoff to Boogie Carr. Boogie dancing around. It's going to be a short gain.
Well, there was really, there were so many, even for Boogie, there were 3 or 4 guys right in his face that he really had no place to go there.
2nd and 9, trips to the right. Swing pass to Boogie Carr. He's got some blockers out in front of him. Boogie's going to pick up the first down.
Really good job by Sean Tufu, by Jacoby Ekman out there, number 62, really clearing the path, and Boogie had a lane to go through. Just a good job by our offensive line there.
1st and 10. Weiss, lots of time. He's going to move out to his left, and he'll keep it. Looking for that sideline, getting close to that first down marker. 48 seconds on the clock.
Ben did a great job there. Bryce Bohannon broke out again, but really he could see the first down marker, knew he had it, took what he had.
1st and 10 at the 17. Now hand off to Jamal Bethune. Jamal cutting out to the left, pushing that pile forward. Gain of 8 or 9.
Wow, that's just a hard-nosed run there. They made contact right at the line of scrimmage. He just kept his feet going. That's a good, solid 7.
30 seconds, clock still ticking. They'll hand off to Jamal again, following Jaden Williams right up the middle. He's going to have a first down, setting up 1st and goal. Clock has stopped at 20 seconds, and Conway calling its first timeout.
Always a good game plan to follow Jaden Williams. When if you get a chance, if you're Boogie Carr, or if you're Jamal Bethune or Manny Smith, and they say, okay, just follow 73, that's something that you're going to want to do. The guy is, he's converted. We talked about it. This is the guy, number 73, for those of you who haven't seen the Wampus Cats play all year long. Started out as our tight end, but really kind of a slot receiver, 6'5", just a real dynamic athlete, one of our key basketball players as well. Overall, just a nice guy, just absolutely a great human being, number one. But he's an elite athlete, and the D1 guys are starting to take notice.
1st and goal at the 4, 20 seconds on the clock, 2 timeouts left for the Wampus Cats. Weiss looking for Silverman Barnes, and he has him. 4 yards to number 4.
Dylan that was basically almost a basketball move. He went into the end zone and posted up. And Ben, as he came out of his cut and out of his curl, threw it in the only spot that was going to be catchable by a Wampus cat, and Ben's done that all year long. It's just another great Ben Weiss throw, super catch.
That is Silverman Barnes' 4th touchdown of the year. We talked about how good it is to have Jamal Bethune back in the lineup. Same holds true for Silverman Barnes as well. Extra point is up and good, 52-7. Conway on top. We will go ahead and hold it here. Just 15 seconds left to go here in this first half, and it's just been all Wampus Cats tonight.
Yeah, Springdale, well, we're just glad, that they're here, that we're able to play this ball game. They are impacted by a number of factors, and they're missing several key players on both sides of the ball, and coaching staff as well.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned it earlier, Zach Clark is also coaching defense tonight. So you've got a head coach at a 7A school that needs to just focus on being a head coach, and he's having to play multiple hats here. So, not to make a lot of excuses for Springdale at all, they want to do that, but they're in a tough spot. And this year, the Wampus Cats offense has been one that, if you're having any kind of difficulty whatsoever, you don't want to face them. They have way too many weapons. You've got to cover them all. You've got to scheme for the pace of the game, which nobody really runs at the Wampus Cats pace in the 7A at all. You may see some other smaller schools that like to try to play fast. You heard it from Buck James. You heard it from the Northside coach, Velour. Nobody plays as fast as the Wampus Cats do, and it's hard to match up against.
Check out this line in the first half. 16 for 20, 250 and 6 touchdowns for Ben Weiss.
Mercy.
State's leading passer, showing you why tonight here in the first round of the playoffs. Bulldogs got something cooking here with nice return. Out past the 30, out of bounds with 7 seconds left on the clock.
Really, and it's one of those plays, especially in special teams, where you think, in that case it was Wade Simpson. So you have a job to do in special teams, and so Wade's job was to make sure that play doesn't bounce outside. He didn't make the tackle. He had a guy blocking him, but what he did was he forced the returner to come back inside where all of your guys are flying to the ball. Really a good job by Wade Simpson, even though he didn't make the tackle.
Springdale will start this drive at the 32. Phipps will keep it himself out on the right side. We'll just run one play and take this into halftime. 52-7, the Wampus Cats on top here at the half in the opening round of the 7A state playoffs. We're going to take a 60-second break here, and then we're going to come back with a nice, fun little thing that Jeff Matthews helped put together this week. The top 10 plays of the 2020 regular season. You don't want to miss it. Back in 60 seconds here on Conway Corp.
Education is all about vision. It requires commitment, investment. So we pour ourselves into Conway students and teachers, schools, and scholarships. A brighter future? Now that's powerful. Conway Corp. Always on. You don't wake up thinking about internet speed, electricity, reliability. Your mind isn't on advanced treatment facilities or customizable systems. You don't have to think about any of these things because we do. Conway Corp. Always on.
It is halftime here at John McConnell Stadium in the opening round of the 7A state playoffs. Your Wampus Cats up big, 52-7 over the Springdale Bulldogs here at the half. And we'll get into all the statistics and all that in a bit. There's a lot to talk about. Great first half performance on in all aspects of the game for your Wampus Cats. But first, we have a fun little package that Jeff Matthews helped put together this week, and we mentioned it earlier. We got to screen this for the players today. when they had their pregame meal. It was about 2:30, 3 o'clock, something like that. So they got to see it before anyone else, the world premiere. But now we'll get to share it with you. Here are the top 10 plays of the 2020 regular season for your Wampus Cats. Weiss closing in on 400 yards passing. They'll start with a handoff to Jamal Bethune, and Jamal's got space. Jamal breaking away. 63-yard touchdown run for Jamal Bethune. Norwood rolling out to his right. Still on his feet. He's going to be picked off by Ashton Waller. Waller's got one man to beat. Getting chased down from behind by Tucker. The ball is out. They're going to call him out of bounds. Yeah, other than that big touchdown run back in the first quarter, Catholic having a ton of success moving the ball. Bowman looking over the middle of the field, and it's picked off by Traylon McClure. Traylon taking it to the house. 2nd and 25, Boogie Carr in. Pass again, setting up the screen to Bryce Bohannon, and he's got daylight. Diving in, 41-yard score for Bryce Bohannon, his 7th touchdown, receiving touchdown of the year. Trips to the left for Weiss. 2 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Weiss finds Wes Boudreaux over the middle. Boudreaux diving in for the 16-yard score. In the backfield now, Bryce Bohannon out to the far side. They're going to look for Bryce on the quick slant, and he has got an opening. Another foot race for Bryce Bohannon. One man to beat, and he is going to do it. 77-yard score for Bryce Bohannon. Sets up first down at the 42 for the Wampus Cats. Ben Weiss, lots of time looking over the middle for Bryce Bohannon. 58 yards and the score. Trips to the left again. Find Manny Smith on the quick catch, and he's gonna make some room. Manny Smith, 65 yards, and it's all the junior. Ain't polished yet that you want to have ready for later in the season, and that's got to be blocked by Traylon McClure. Picked up, or Ashton Waller trying to pick it up. It's blocked again by Traylon McClure. Picked up by Waller, taken down near the 23. Meady kicking it deep. Bohannon's going to haul it in. Bryce Bohannon finding a little patch there in the middle, making a move, bouncing it out to the right. He's still on his feet, past the 50, past the 40, cutting back midfield. It's going to be a foot race. I put money on Bryce Bohannon. Touchdown, Conway. Well, there you have it, your top 10 plays of the 2020 regular season as voted on by me and Tim. What we did was we settled on 10 plays, and that took a while. It took some time to settle on the 10, and then we each voted and ranked them, and then, you know, the number one play for both of us each got 10 points, and then we just added up all the points. I will tell you, though, we were unanimous in that number one play, that 80-yard kickoff return from Bryce Bohannon. And that was all the way back in week 0, the very first game of the season for your Wampus Cats against Fayetteville, who we will face next week in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. Any memories from some of those plays that you want to call out?
First of all, I thought that the kickoff return against Fayetteville was really kind of the moment that everybody said, wow, we've got something special going on here. And it was just in the first game. It stopped any chance that Fayetteville had. The other thing I would say is this. I love I think that the title of the play, I can't remember which one it was, the Kapow Buddy one,
Kapow
is
Buddy.
one of my favorite ones. That's Connor Crutchfield. For those of you that didn't really probably make sense to a lot of folks, but whenever Connor has a big block, he says Kapow, and he's got it on his mouthpiece. And he made an open field block that just decleated the guy, and what a great play. And I would also say this, Ashton Waller on his interception return that he didn't quite make all the way back to the end zone, would have loved to have seen that. He switched the ball to his outside hand, just like he was an offensive player. He's those kind of things like that. I mean, it goes unnoticed in some case, and I just saw it this time. An offensive move by Ashton Waller. These guys are well coached.
That was a ton of fun, and it's been such a fun season. Conway 6-3 on the regular season, and set up for what we're hoping will be a deep playoff run here in the 7A, and it's off to a good start tonight. Conway leads 52-7. Hope you enjoyed those top 10 plays. We're about 8.5 minutes away from the kickoff in the second half, and we'll have the rest of that action for you live after the rest of the Conway Regional Health System halftime show.
Good evening, Wampus Cat fans. My name is Kennedy Smith, and welcome to this week's Sports Report. The Lady Cat basketball team officially began their season this week, playing the Little Rock Christian Lady Warriors on Thursday and the Jacksonville Lady Cardinals on Friday. The girls team is looking forward to a successful season this year after ending their season in the semifinals of the state tournament last year. The swim team had 2 meets this week. Both the boys and the girls teams competed in Searcy on Monday, and the boys team competed at UCA on Thursday. Wampus Cat cross-country teams competed in their state meet last week. Senior John Sutton placed 3rd and was awarded All-State. The girls team placed 6th overall, and the boys team placed 7th overall. Congratulations to both teams on finishing their seasons. Speaking of state, the varsity dance team is scheduled to compete at their state competition this Saturday in Lake Hamilton. They will be competing in the kick, pom, and jazz category. Good evening, Wampus Cat fans. My name is Kennedy Smith, and welcome to this week's Sports Report. The Lady Cat basketball team officially began their season this week, playing the Little Rock Christian Lady Warriors on Thursday and the Jacksonville Lady Cardinals on Friday. The girls team is looking forward to a successful season this year after ending their season in the semifinals of the state tournament last year. The swim team had 2 meets this week. Both the boys and the girls teams competed in Searcy on Monday, and the boys team competed at UCA on Thursday. Wampus Cat cross-country teams competed in their state meet last week. Senior John Sutton placed 3rd and was awarded All-State. The girls team placed 6th overall, and the boys team placed 7th overall. Congratulations to both teams on finishing their seasons. Speaking of state, the varsity dance team is scheduled to compete at their state competition this Saturday in Lake Hamilton. They will be competing in the kick, pom, and jazz categories with 3 strong dances. Good luck, ladies. Wrapping up the week for the Conway Wampus Cats, I'm Kennedy Smith, and this has been your weekly sports report. Go Cats!
You don't wake up thinking about internet speed. electricity, reliability. Your mind isn't on advanced treatment facilities or customizable systems. You don't have to think about any of these things because we do. Conway Corp, always on.
We're joined now by David Grimes, our friend who is the founder of the Wampus Cat Sports Hall of Fame. And David, it's always great to have you every year. Let's talk about the class of 2021. We're going to reveal it tonight, the Wampus Cat Sports Hall of Fame. Who's in this next class?
Absolutely, Jeff. Thanks for having me as always. We can't do it in person this year, but we'll do it by Zoom. That seems to be the way of 2020. But recently, the board of the Wampus Cat Sports Hall of Fame met and selected our 6 inductees for the class of 2021. And of course, we pick 6 every year because how many legs are on a Wampus Cat, Tim? 6 legs. 6 legs. 6 legs on Wampus Cats. We have 6 great inductees. But I'll start with something new we're doing this year. For the first time, we are going to also induct a team. We'll do this periodically to honor great teams from the past. And a pretty obvious choice is old-timers around here. We're going to start with the 1964 football team that went undefeated and won the state championship. And so that's who we'll start with as far as teams go.
So then what about the individuals? Who's heading up that class?
Sure. This is just the 3rd year we've done this. And so there's still a big list of very deserving honorees, so that in some ways that makes the choice easy because you can't hardly go wrong, but in a lot of ways it makes it very tough to pick which ones we're going to do. But what the board went to this year, and I'll have to go with the glasses so I don't mess anything up, but Hal Crafton. Hal Crafton, a lot of people know Hal Crafton as a local businessman, developer. If you're not an old-timer, you may not know that Hal Crafton was one heck of a basketball player. Graduated high school in 1974, played for the Wampus Cats. During his 3 years, they went 82-13. They won the state championship in 73 and 74. He was All-State both years. And in the 1974 state championship basketball game, he scored 30 points to help the Wampus Cats win the state championship. So Hal was the first one. Next up, Tom Mabry, class of 68. He won the discus in the state meet as a senior, but he was really more known as a football player. He was All-State, played in the All-Star game as a senior. Then he went to the University of Arkansas from 69 to 71 and started at offensive tackle. Was a great performer for the Hogs. Played in the Sugar Bowl, and he was played in some of those senior classic games, the Hula Bowl. He played in the Coaches All-American game, played the Northwest Shrine game. He was drafted in the NFL by the New York Giants in 72. I think spent a little time with the Houston Oilers. So Tom Mabry is the next one. Wilbur Owen. A lot of people know Wilbur as a professor at UCA for many years, but before that, he was a wonderful athlete, multi-sport. He won the Frankie Robbins Award in 1960 as a senior for best all-around athlete, football and track. Track was his best sport. He helped the Wampus Cats win the 1960 state championship track meet. He won 3 individual races and helped anchor 3 winning relay teams to help them win that 60 state championship. He went on to UCA where he was a All-AIC and All-American performer for the Bears, helped them win 4 AIC titles, and he's been inducted into the Arkansas Track and Field Hall of Fame. That's how good his track career was. Next up, Ruel Shepard. He's a little more recent. You probably remember him, Jeff. You probably called some games when Ruel Shepard was quarterback.
Right.
He graduated in 93. He won the Frankie Robbins Award that year as the best senior athlete. 3-sport guy, football, basketball, and track. All-state football, played in the 93 football all-star game. He was a high jumper in track and played quarterback. But dig this. He went to Murray State to play college football for Houston Nutt and bulked up playing linebacker and became an all-conference linebacker for the Murray State Racers and helped them qualify for the NCAA playoffs a couple of years. So Ruel, but he works over UCA now as well. Next up, we're going way back. Ken Stevens. He graduated, and I'm going to make sure I say this right. He graduated Conway High School in 1948. Wow. He graduated high school in 1948. Track and football guy, usually competed in 6 events in track. He was the high point man at the 1948 state track meet. He also went to UCA, played football and track. Again, probably track was his better sport to play. He was All-American in track, but then he went on to coach football. Coached at Conway a couple of years, then went to North Little Rock, won 3 state championships there. Then he came back to UCA, coached football in the 70s, and they won 4 AIC titles and were national runner-up in 1976. And he's also been inducted in the Arkansas Track and Field Hall of Fame and the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. And then finally, a name we all know and love is Janet Taylor. Coach Taylor just retired recently this past year. She spent 36 years in the district, coached everything and anything, junior high, high school. She won 8 state championships in 4 different sports: boys golf, girls basketball, girls basketball, and volleyball. And then several state runner-ups, multiple conference championships, was assistant AD towards the later part of her career. And this is maybe one of the most remarkable things anybody's ever done in our group of Wampus Cats in junior high. She was coach of the junior high lady team back in 1990 to 1996. They won 140 games in a row, 140 game winning streak from 1990 to 96. And so you think you have an off night every now and then? Didn't happen. 140 games in a row. So that's a quick rundown of our honorees this year.
David, it's such a great thing that you're doing with this Hall of Fame. That's such a great class as well. Can you tell our viewers, just to remind them a little bit about the history of how this came together?
Sure. Well, it was long overdue. Wampus Cat Sport's been around for over a century. And this, the main purpose of this is to honor great former Wampus Cat players and coaches and now teams. A secondary measure is to help raise money for the Booster Club. Our banquet got canceled this May for the class of 2020 due to coronavirus, but we're hoping to, if the world is back to normal by May of 2021, we'll have a banquet to induct this class and, again, raise money for the Booster Club to help support all of Conway athletics.
David, I know you mentioned it's the third year. I remember in that first year, you had an expanded class because, getting started, you have so many big names to get in. But what have been some of the challenges here in this third class besides maybe just, trying to get as many in as you can?
Sure, absolutely. Now, we did double up the first year, had a double class of 12, 2 Wampus Cats, if you will. But it just to catch up, and even after we got those 12 out of the way, we looked, it was like, oh my gosh, there's tons more deserving honorees. Now, one thing we've done to help make it a little easier is there's a waiting period. For males, it's 25 years, so you have to be out of school 25 years before you're able to be considered. And for females, because they did not get any sporting opportunities until later, the waiting period for them is 10 years. They didn't have any women's sports in the 70s, and very few at that point as well. They didn't really expand women's sports until about 20 years ago. So there's a waiting period. That helps us cull down the number of honorees, but we're going to have plenty of wonderful honorees keep doing this in a great way for a long time.
David, what's the best way for someone to get involved with the Booster Club? I know you mentioned that's one of the reasons that this happened. So give me a minute to talk about that.
Absolutely. One of the additional perks we wanted to try to drive up Booster Club membership is they get the first vote. We send out a voting list of up to 40 names to the Booster Club, dues-paying members of the Booster Club, and they get to vote on their top 6. They rank them 1 to 6. And then they send it back to us, and we tabulate those results. And actually, their top vote getter is automatically inducted. All right, so whoever they vote, the Booster Club has direct control over who gets in first. All right, after that, we'll take their rankings and use that to build a good diverse class between different eras and sports and male and female, make sure we got a good balance for everything. And so,
cutting out of our halftime coverage there, we got most of the way through that interview. If you didn't catch it, it was also the pregame and, of course, the announcement of the Wampus Cat Sports Hall of Fame, their third class. It was always good to talk to David Grimes there. In the past, we would have done it live at halftime, but, it's the time we live in.
It's COVID.
So back here starting the second half. Springdale receiving to start things off here, trailing 52-7. And the sportsmanship rule is going to be in effect here in the second half for your Wampus Cats.
A couple of new guys. Well, Wade Simpson has been on a couple of tackles, but also Keyshawn Williams there making a special teams tackle. So good to see some new faces out here.
Sportsmanship rule, of course, 35-point differential at any point in the second half, then the clock continues to run. So probably have a short second half here tonight.
Marcavius Stuckett on the tackle there. Again, somebody that we've seen a few times this year, has seen some playing time, and really good young outside linebacker for the Wampus Cats.
Jalen Wilson in at corner here on the near side. Second down handoff, going to break away for a first down here for Springdale. Andre Sparks.
Yeah, Stuckett again in on the tackle along with Jalen Wilson. So, again, young guys in there, some new faces in there. They're going to get a chance to play against the number 1 team, the A team on Springdale's side of the ball. So they're going to get to see some pretty good action here.
On the other side of the field, sophomore Quadrell Wilson at the other corner spot, number 21.
That was a great tackle by Trey Roberts, again flying up from the safety spot. Hopefully he's okay. Dinged up his shoulder there a little bit, but boy, I mean, when you fly as fast as Trey is to the ball, he's you're leaving it on the line, as they say out there. And he really did a good job to come up and make a good clean tackle there.
Got the numbers backwards on the scoreboard here. It's 2nd down and 6 to go. Sparks running hard here in the second half for the Bulldogs. Going to be close to a 1st down.
Another good tackle. You know, you're holding. Sometimes you're just kind of holding on for dear life there, but really good tackle by Charlie Warren, another JV, one of our JV guys, getting a chance to play middle linebacker. Does a great job on the JV side.
See, this is where you really get to earn your keep, Tim Roach, because you do public address announcing for the JV games. You know a lot of these names and numbers that we're going to be seeing here in the second half.
These are the young, and I'll tell you what, their JV team is really good. I mean, they've had to learn just like everybody else. They've had to learn a system on the offensive side. Defensively, they got some guys that can really fly to the ball. You saw it there, stuck it again, flying from the outside all the way across the line of scrimmage to make a good tackle there.
4th and 1, and that ball was fumbled. Fumbled snap. Wampus Cats saying they have it.
I think he got on the ball, but I don't think he got enough for the 1st down.
In any case, it will be Conway ball at the 34-yard line.
Turnover on downs doesn't sound as good as turnover, but it's still the same thing. So I mean, it's not as flashy, not as sexy as getting a turnover, but boys, just as effective. And now got some new guys on offense.
Yeah, starting with number 5, Sam Gregg at quarterback. He'll hand off to start this drive.
That's Andrew Sides. I really like, and I think I've talked about this on a few occasions. We were able to see him play. Watched him a lot last year on the JV side as a junior. He runs really, really hard, really finds gaps very well. You're not going to take him down on the first contact very often. Just a really good running back. And Sam Gregg, by the way, really good JV quarterback.
Hand off to Sides again. This one's going to be caught in the backfield. I mentioned going into halftime, well, after the top 10 plays, we were talking about the Fayetteville game, and I said that's where we'd be going next week. That may not be true. Because at halftime up in Fayetteville, Little Rock Central hanging in there with the Bulldogs 14-14. Wouldn't that be a treat if Central could pull off the upset and we get to stay home another week?
I wouldn't see that one coming. Fayetteville's been playing pretty well as of late.
Well, I had seen some breaking Twitter news before our game started that Centennial, their star wide receiver, was out of that game. So you just never know week to week what things are going to look like. Wampus Cats trying to draw Springdale off sides. Gregg will step back and punt this one away. Be down near the 39.
And in the JV team all year long, that's been our punt formation. We've not lined up for a punt all year long. It's been the kind of the snap from the center, just a deeper snap. And Sam Gregg has done a great job, by the way, of kicking the ball. Has really had no issues. And what it does there, I know for traditionalists like me that want to see somebody line up in the punt formation and do that that way, what this does is in our offense, it forces the defense to play kind of safe and play a regular defense, and you're kicking it back there to nobody. So when the pooch kick happens, nobody's back there to get it.
Well, and then also there's always the threat that you can go for it. Phipps, long run here, and he is showing off some speed. He's going to be out of bounds near the 5. Big run for Phipps.
That was a great fake on the edge, kind of a read option, and really got to the edge so quickly that none of our guys were even prepared for it. And it's the young guys being young guys there. But Jalen Wilson never gave up on the play, tracked him down from the backside all the way across the field. Jalen Wilson, pretty fast guy on our side.
Already near the midway point of the third quarter, and Sparks, he's going to punch it in from 5 yards out. Touchdown Bulldogs.
Touchdown Springdale.
Yeah, it's really hard to stop, especially with these young guys. Hard to stop the number one, the A team as it is on Springdale's side. But you got to give Springdale credit. I mean, they came out and ran it right down the field, made a big play, and then followed up with a good push on the interior side.
And I don't say this as a joke, but Springdale didn't travel a lot of players. They may not have a full set of backups, and I don't even mean that as to be funny. That's just kind of the reality of their what they traveled with tonight.
Yeah, they I mean, if you look across the sidelines, they really it's a small unit. Normally, you're going to travel a little bit larger than that, but they've got guys playing all different kinds of positions, both sides of the ball. You've got running backs playing in the secondary. Zach is just trying to get his best athletes on the field just to try to be as competitive as they can be. I mean, they're overmatched tonight. They kind of knew that coming in. They knew this was going to be a tough, tall task, but they're playing hard, and you got to give them credit.
Bryant up 31-7 at halftime over Rogers Heritage. Cabot up 41-7 over Rogers. Fayetteville has taken the lead in the third quarter, 21-14 on top of Central. We'll keep a really close eye on that throughout the rest of the night. North Little Rock up 28-0 on Southside at halftime. Harbor up 35-7 on Northside. So that's a look at your playoff bracket. Bentonville had the night off, and then Bentonville West and Little Rock Catholic unable to play this week as Bentonville West had to forfeit that matchup because of COVID-19 concerns and exposures in their program.
Well, and it's this year, and it changes from time to time, but the strength of the 7A has definitely moved into the central part of the state. It's really Bentonville and everybody else in the West. Bentonville West is not a bad ball club, but in terms of separation of strength, it's Bentonville and just everybody else. And then you have Bryant and pretty much everybody else in the central, but the 2, 3, and 4 spots are very much dominant over the West 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, Fayetteville, the 2 out of the West, and you can see the struggles they're having tonight. At least still a lot of time to play in that game. They did take the lead, 21-14 over Central. That game in the third quarter. Conway starting things off here with a nice run.
That's Lala Smith. That's Elijah Smith.
We've been waiting.
Yeah, I've talked about him a lot in pre-games and haven't seen him play yet in the varsity on Friday nights, but he is a special running back for our junior varsity team. He is all gas, no brakes.
Sam Gregg's first pass of the night, it was almost picked off.
They were jumping that one. That was to Moss on the outside. That play needs to be a little bit more snappy. And again, the pace of the game is a little bit different. Even though our JV team is pretty good, the pace of the game is a little bit different. That throw needs to be a little bit more timely. Sam will get that down, but a good deal that it didn't get picked.
3rd and 4, swing pass to Smith. Smith making a cut back towards the middle. He's going to get close to that first down marker. It's going to be real close.
He's right at it.
They'll give it to him. First down, Wampus Cats.
I'm telling you, Elijah Smith, I mean, some of these young guys, you'll see some of these guys next year. If they're not a senior out there playing right now, you've got somebody like Will Vent out there in the slot. He's traditional, kind of an H-back kind of back. He's great hands.
Hand off to Smith again, bounces it out to the right. He's got another first down.
This is Manny's brother, and you know, if you can get 2 of the Smith brothers on the field, we've seen that before.
And it's worked out pretty well in the past.
Yes, but he is going to be a special player. I can mark my words on that.
Wampus Cats will go trips to the left, setting up a screen pass out in the flats. Is that Nathan Moitz?
That's him.
Nathan Moitz getting a big first down.
Fantastic. Boy, what a great run after the catch. We saw that at Jonesboro, I think it was, earlier in the year. He's surprisingly quick to the boundary and made a good run after the catch there. Seen some new offensive linemen as well. Pretty much across the board, we've got all of our backups in now, and it's good to see them work as a unit.
First and 10 for Conway. They'll hand off to Smith. Smith will lean into the middle for a short gain.
If he gets some space, if Elijah gets some space, or Lala as they like to call him, so we call him Boogie. We might as well call him Lala.
Lala.
So he is. It's an interesting mix. He's a very interesting mix. He's a little bit like Boogie in some ways, and like Manny in some ways. But man, he reminds me a lot of Jamal Bethune.
They'll hand off to Smith again. He's making a cutout to the left, following his blockers. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4.
It's going to be good to have him ready to go in the playoff run. I mean, you never can tell when you might need that one extra back. Somebody needs a breather. We've seen a couple of our running backs get dinged up over the year, so this is a good spot to have him ready to go.
Under the 3-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. Running clock the rest of the way. Smith dancing around, bouncing it out to the left. Out of bounds near the 5.
That's a tough inside run that he bounced outside, and really some good speed to the interior part of the line of scrimmage. He's got a lot of skills. He's got those Smith skills. Now you've got another really good running back in my mind. Andrew Sides is in the ballgame. This is a hard-nosed running back here. He's a tough runner.
1st and goal at the 5. They'll hand off to Sides. Sides following his blockers right up the middle, down to the half-yard marker.
He did that last time he got in the ball game a couple weeks ago. Really a good running back in terms of just hitting a gap. I mean, he is a downhill runner, just like Jamal Bethune.
Hand off to him again, and he has done it. 1 yard for the score for Andrew Sides.
Senior running back who has really been a role player on our scout squads running through the JV program as well. Really awesome to see him get a score this year. Andrew Sides, great job.
Score in the playoffs, no less. 58-14, Conway extending the lead here in the 2nd half. Extra point is up and good. 59-14, a minute 20 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp.
We don't schedule the appointments, but we connect them. We don't read the x-rays, but we stream them. We don't handle the procedures, but we power them. Here's to running the things that make business run smoothly. Conway Corp, always on.
I don't know how much you could catch of that on the sidelines as we were going into the break, but Andrew Sides gets the score, but then couldn't come to the sidelines because he's on the extra point team. But Manny Smith and Boogie Carr and Jaden Williams, they were all waiting for him to come off after the extra point and celebrate with the senior his first touchdown of the year.
Three strong years in the program. You get a chance to get your first score. Man, so happy for Andrew Sides and his family. That's just a great moment there.
Xander Williams will kick it away. Minute 20 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Line drive kick from Williams right up the middle. Springdale will, well, they're still on their feet past the 35, pushing to the 40.
No quit in Springdale. You got to admire, truly, you got to admire how they came to the game, knowing that they were outmanned. Some of that due to all of the things happening from a COVID perspective, but they've been fighting hard, and it showed right there.
Ball spotted at the 41. Phipps and the rest of the starters still on the field for the Bulldogs. Hand off to Sparks here as that play looked a little amiss, but Sparks bouncing it out to the right for a big gain.
And hurdled a defender on the boundary. I'm trying to see who that was. But really good run, good hard run by Sparks there.
It's going to bring up second and short for the Bulldogs. Not sure if they're going to get another play off here before the end of the third quarter. And that's going to do it. 3 quarters in the books here in Conway. The Wampus Cats up 59-14 over Springdale. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp.
DeBoard Electronics, a trusted name since 1952, is located at 650 Dave Ward Drive, 2 miles west of I-40. DeBoard Electronics offers state-of-the-art options to customize your Yamaha golf cart or your Polaris side-by-side and even your boat. With cutting-edge products, you will look good and sound good when you're cruising the water. So enjoy your time on the lake listening to your favorite tunes thanks to DeBoard Electronics, 650 Dave Ward Drive in Conway.
Back in Conway, Springdale getting a first down on their first play of the fourth quarter.
Good tackle by Trey Roberts there again on the boundaries. Safety's coming up playing some good time. He's, again, someone who's seen a lot of varsity snaps. It's going to be good to have him ready to go. You need as many secondary guys as you can get, and Trey is a talented safety.
Each team putting up 7 points in the third quarter. 59-14 your score. Phipps looking over the middle, and he had Morris open. Morris unable to haul that one in.
Quadrell Wilson on the coverage number 21. Again, another JV cornerback for us. Really fast guy, and so he was able to close a little bit there, close the gap late.
Good shot of the band sticking it out tonight. It's gotten a little cooler out there as the sun went down. Be another first down for the Bulldogs.
Tackled by Trey Roberts. He's doing seemingly every play in the last couple of drives. Very, he's a very good athlete, smart young man, and knows the defensive side of the ball very well, and just really active as a safety.
Ball set at the 25. Phipps will hand off to Sparks up the middle. Still on his feet, down to the 10.
That's a hard runner here. He's done the damage tonight. You knew somebody named Sparks was going to be their best player tonight, but just didn't know which one. But really hard run there.
We're going to have a timeout on the field. Looks like we might have an injured Bulldog. Sparks.
Yeah.
He's back on his feet.
That's good news.
And they'll get him off to the sideline. It's going to be first and goal right at the 10.
Got Teague Harding in there on the defensive line as well now. I believe he's on the defensive line. He could be playing linebacker. He's on the line.
Play fake. Phipps looking over the middle for the tight end, and he is able to haul it in. Nick Thompson with the good hands there.
Nice fingertip catch. Ball looked to be a little bit overthrown, and he was able to get a mid on it, pop it up to himself, and made a good catch.
59-20. Bulldogs putting up 13 points here in the second half. They'll try to make that 14. Good snap, good kick. 59 to 21, 9:40 left to go in this one. Conway on top. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp.
For nearly 100 years, Conway Regional has provided high-quality, compassionate health care to the communities we serve, and we are honored to be named the 2020 Best Hospital in Arkansas by readers of AY Magazine. Thank you to the thousands of readers who chose Conway Regional as the best hospital. We are bringing you innovative services, new clinics, more specialists, and expanded access to care. We are not just growing, we are growing together.
Update from Fayetteville, the Bulldogs putting up 14 points in the third quarter. Then they now lead Little Rock Central 28 to 14. So don't give up hope yet, Wampus Cat fans, but looks like Fayetteville getting back in charge in that one.
Yeah, it would be nice to have another home game in the playoffs, but we've had some success. We've seen some issues in Fayetteville, to say the least. So
yeah, it was 11 years ago today, actually, that Clint Ashcraft, his first year at Conway, took the Wampus Cats up to Fayetteville in the first round of the playoffs and shocked them. Shocked the Bulldogs, shocked the entire classification. Late in the last seconds, long touchdown pass from, I think it was Xavier Ackland. I can't remember who the receiver was, but
wow,
it was a call for the ages for Jeff Matthews and Jim Files. I'll just say that. Andrew Sides getting it down close to the 30. I have the good memory because I was on the Conway Corp production team that night.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I was. That was my first year with Conway Corp. I was still in college at UCA, and I was working the graphics and replay. much simpler operation at the time. We were running out of a van, not a cool Conway Corp van like we have now, but like an actual van that was somebody's personal vehicle.
Sounds a little bit like a Saturday Night Live skit. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could have very well been. But that was a big night for Conway. Wampus Cats then had to go to Cabot the following week, and that was not a big night. I remember that too.
Yeah, no.
But it was a nice, fun win. First playoff game for Clint Ashcraft, and Conway really started to build the program back up after that season, and continuing to do it here under Keith Fimple as well.
A couple of things to note there. Sam Gregg with a great pass to Clay Fisher. That's Clay Fisher. He's another up-and-coming sophomore. Runs mostly out of the slot. He's a good wideout.
Smith bouncing it around up there. He's going to get close to the first down. Yeah, you mentioned Fisher. Fisher was one of the players that another Wampus Cat had clued me into before the season started, and I've been waiting to see him in action.
We've had so much production out of our regular guys that he hadn't had a chance to see the field, but he's a good hand. Wow.
I'm starting to understand why you like Lala Smith so much.
Yeah, he's got a lot of natural skills. All the Smith brothers know the game very well, but he's very instinctive runner. He sees space really well. He's good, strong upper body for a sophomore, and he's kind of, again, like I say, it's a combination of Jamal Bethune and a Manny Smith.
Well, to me, he's the physical in between of a Shane Smith and a Manny Smith.
Yeah,
kind of.
Good point. Absolutely.
Gregg to Sides, complete.
Andrew Sides catching the ball. That's new. I'm sure that in the old system that was not necessarily something you saw. So it's good to see Andrew catch the ball.
Bring up 2nd and 11, past the 7-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Keep mentioning that Fayetteville score. Winner of that game is who your Wampus Cats will play next. So we'll either be going up to Fayetteville or we'll be hosting Little Rock Central if the Tigers can come back in that one.
We haven't seen really much of, I mean, we normally, Levi, you and I get a chance to do some review every week of our opponents, and Central was the first, I think the first game. Southwest was the first game.
Second, yeah.
But we didn't get a chance to really, do a good review of Central. I watched a little bit of their games. They remind me a little bit of Springdale in terms of size. They're not as big as some of the other 7A schools, but they have a couple of spots where they're talented. They can cause some problems.
Fake to sides, looking over the middle.
This is like watching my JV games from the press box. Jaden Hughes is one of the main targets for Sam Gregg on the JV team. And runs great routes, really fast. Runs great routes.
They're used to that connection, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a good one for them.
Hand off to sides bouncing out to the right. Pick up a few yards.
Never say quit on Andrew Sides. I mean, he's always looking for that extra yard. He is a relentless runner, and so you get now you get a little bit more la-la in.
Second and 8, closing in on the 5-minute mark. Swing past the la-la. Following his blockers, going to be another first down for Smith.
It's really fun to see him excel for the first time against a varsity team. I mean, in the JV world, it can be a little misleading at times in terms of what you really have. And on a Friday night, you get a chance to kind of see how it plays out. And man, he's showing it tonight.
Springdale going to call a timeout. We will take it with them. 30 seconds and we're back on Conway Corp.
Arkansans appreciate community. We work and raise families, care for our neighbors, and come together in good times and bad. At First Security, that local strength is what we love best about our home state. There is commitment here, and heart, and hope. Thank you to everyone who is standing together, learning from one another, and making Arkansas a place we all love to call home. We're proud to be your community bank.
Back in Conway, Wampus Cats up big, 59-21. 4:44 left to go here in the fourth quarter.
Lala just keeps making first downs. So this is the kind of drive you'd like to see at this point of the ballgame, just kind of a methodical, march it down the field drive.
First and 10 at the 24. They'll hand off the sides right up the middle. Solid gain for the senior.
Yeah, really good push after the initial contact into the interior part of the line. If they give him everything they did, that's about a 7-yard gain when it looked like he was going to get 1 or 2. Really pushed the pile forward. Strong run there.
Second and 4. Conway working the clock here in the final minutes. Hand off the sides again. Finds a seam right up the middle. 18-yard run for Andrew Sides, his second touchdown of the night.
Wow, that's just, I mean, he hit the seam and he was gone. I mean, he outran the safeties to the center part of the field, got past the linebackers very quickly. Man, what a hard run, and really, that's the most space he's had all year long. Just a great run by Andrew Sides.
Saw Connor Crutchfield running in and picking up sides. They're very excited for their classmate. Get 2 big scores tonight.
Really happy for Andrew Sides. He's, again, worked super hard. Here he comes to the sidelines and everybody's excited for him. What a great moment for him.
66-21. Conway up big, 3:58 to go in this one.
You know, here's the thing. I mean, so Andrew Sides is a guy that has not been able to break into the rotation. That just shows you how deep we are at running back. And, you know, Conway's been that way for a while in terms of running backs. We've been very fortunate to have a good stable of running backs almost every year. this year we seem to have more than our fair share of really good running backs, and you've got somebody like Elijah Smith back there who is, not getting any time as well, and just seeing it tonight. You've seen two backs here, Andrew Sides and Elijah Smith, who both in other programs would be starters, and so really good to see them get some time. They are going to be useful. Andrew Sides works on the special teams as well, so really good to see them, though, have some success on the offensive side.
The only close game, or somewhat close game tonight in the 7A, in that Fayetteville and Little Rock Central game. It's a 14-point game up in Fayetteville. Bulldogs on top.
They're still in the third quarter, I think, there, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, so we will not be able to share a final score with you live tonight. So if you're watching this on the replay on Saturday, you'll already know. Fayetteville holds on to that one. That's where we'll be headed next Friday.
They would like another shot at the Wampus Cats.
I bet they would. Sparks on first down.
Another good tackle. That's the second tackle from Keyshawn Williams on the defensive side of the ball. And a solid tackle out in the open field. That's hard to do on the edge. They had a good block on the interior and just made a really good play. That's a senior that hasn't had much time this year.
Under 3 minutes. I'll hand off to Sparks again. He'll get the first down out past the 45.
Sides again. Sparks, the kickball carrier.
Vincent DeWitt making a good tackle from the interior side, number 43. Haven't had a chance to call his name yet tonight, so good tackle there.
45, first down from Springdale.
Got Caden Ashcraft out there, Coach Ashcraft's son.
Another handoff to Sparks right up the middle. He's going to fall forward, gain of 8. It's always fun when you get to call all these extra names because, usually hopefully it's because you're winning big, which is the case tonight. I guess technically it could be because you're not winning big, but
you don't want it in that case. Right?
That's not the concern tonight for your Wampus Cats. Under the 2-minute mark here, and Conway up 66-21.
Springdale slowing it down as well. I mean, they want to get out of here healthy as well. It's the last game of the year for them, but they don't want to have any injuries either.
So Marion Manuel.
Good tackle there by Jalen Wilson, as well as number 67. And I don't even know who 67 is. Get his number. That's not someone I'm familiar with. Keaton Henry is a junior playing the linebacker spot.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs. We'll have to hand off to Manuel again.
That's Andrew Lennon, number 44. Another good linebacker. He plays linebacker for the JV team as well. He's a really, really good linebacker. Junior, very instinctive skills, very high intelligence on the defensive side. Plays really, really fast.
Saw 41 out there as well, sophomore.
Seth Fortune. And, we keep talking about, linebacker you from the Wampus Cats perspective. We seem to have a lot of linebackers that are very talented. Seth Fortune and Andrew Lennon both really good linebackers that are having to play behind, Preston and Jaden and Garrett Sanders, who's not even playing tonight, by the way. And these guys are really talented. Seth Fortune probably led our team in tackles this year on the JV side.
It's going to be the last play of the game. And your Wampus Cats are going to take it 66-21 tonight here in the opening round of the 7A state playoffs. We'll either be on the road to Fayetteville next week or hosting Little Rock Central. That game not final yet, so we will learn more about that later tonight. big offensive performance for your Wampus Cats. Over 100 yards rushing for Jamal Bethune tonight on 10 carries and 1 score. Ben Weiss 16 for 20 for 250 and 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. Boogie Carr led the way with 5 receptions, 62 yards and a score. Bryce Bohannon had a touchdown. Micah Mosby had a touchdown. Wes Boudreaux had a touchdown. Manny Smith had a touchdown. And Dylan Silverman Barnes had the final touchdown of the night from Ben Weiss.
That is spreading the wealth. There was not one. I think the only individual with 2 touchdowns not was Andrew Sides. But yeah, Ben distributed the ball all over the field. Nobody had more than 1 touchdown catch. A great job by our offense doing exactly what it needed to do. Our defense did a great job tonight. Got ready to go.
3 fumble recoveries for the defense. Just kept feeding that offense all night long. And it turned out well. Well, score update. Central closing it to 7, so 28-21. If you're watching this on Saturday, you'll know where we're going. We don't know yet, but it's exciting either way. On behalf of Javon, Ashton, Maggie, John, Scott, Stats Taylor, Justin King, Kara back watching the stream. He's Tim Roach. I'm Levi Gilbert. We'll see you next week in the 7A state quarterfinals.